Marvin Graves all smiles after week one's victory at home, looking to rebound from last week's disappointment on the road. Roll Preston, the Riders' hot receiver in game 2, goes against fresh faces in the Lions secondary.
The Lions are ranked 7th in the league rushing, which is amazing considering last year's Grey Cup MVP Robert Drummond is in the backfield with the Grey Cup outstanding Canadian Sean Millington. For the Lions, the power backs have got to do their thing tonight.
There's always a wonderful view in Vancouver. Both teams opened impressively 2 weeks ago. Now both are chasing the Eskimos for first in the West. It's the Lions and the Riders inside BC Place tonight.
Both teams coming off losses. You never want to lose 2 in a row. Something's got to give tonight.
It took 8 games for Danny Barrett to win his first as the Roughriders head coach in his first season. In year 2, Barrett won the first time out and would like to forget the errors in Edmonton.
BC Lions head coach Steve Barratta was not impressed with his team's effort a week ago. He has to deal with multiple changes on defense tonight, but it's his offense that concerns him most. He's looking for big-time improvements from that side of the ball.
Glenn, the Grey Cup champions are looking anything but like Grey Cup champions as we get this final game of week 3 underway at BC Place. They really struggled against the Ticats last week in Hamilton.
Well, they had the short week, just 4 days to prepare, but that's not an excuse. Steve Barratta wants to see big things out of his offense tonight.
And they'll look for big things from number 25, Sean Millington, who is back for the opening kickoff as one of the 2 Lions deep backs. Paul McCallum has the football evening underway in Vancouver. This is Taylor for the Lions, slowed at the 25, and he's down there. Damon Allen had a rough run last week in Hamilton when the Lions got hammered. Alfred Jackson is his key receiver. As mentioned, Millington and Drummond need more yards rushing. And that puts the pressure on an aging offensive line with Jamie Terrace right there in the center of things. Damon Allen, good on 50.6% of his passes so far this season, and those aren't good numbers for Dan.
No, I mean, his career is over 60.
Lions keep it on the ground with Millington on the first carry of the ball game.
Well, that front 7 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders on defense are going to see Millington and Drummond all night long, so look for George White to have a big game. He's the key in that linebacking core. And in the secondary, Ladavius McCalla, 2 interceptions on the season, both last week versus Edmonton.
6 for Millington. This is 2nd and 4, and the Lions come up short of the first down at the 35. Robert Drummond.
24.
Starting lineups brought to you by Midas. Keep a good thing going. Go Midas.
Well,
no decision, really. They're going to kick it away quickly.
No, yeah, you're going to punt that away. That's no question about that. But what I like about it is that they went with 2 running plays in a row. Obviously, Steve Barratta wants to establish Drummond and Millington tonight. It's something that he has heard in the media all week long. Why aren't they running the ball more?
Well, these guys were the guns that got the Lions to the Grey Cup and to victory over Montreal last year.
And if you're going to run the ball like that, though, sometimes you're going to be 2 and out like they are right now. So you got to be patient with that.
High kick. Coming down to Roll Preston. Reverses his field. There could be room to the near side for Preston. He's out to the 35. Excellent return. Superb field position for Saskatchewan's offense. Marvin Graves came back to earth in Edmonton last week after a heroic comeback at Taylor Field in week 1 over Hamilton. Graves has loads of top talent to throw to. Curtis Marsh may get a run for number 1 from that guy, Roll Preston. Adjustments up front. Jeremy O'Day is in for Big John Terry at left tackle. And who's the guy in the middle? Number 57.
Not Chris Farley.
Not quite.
Andrew Moore.
Andrew Moore. Riders begin at the 50. Graves near side has Penrose. Not across midfield.
Defensively for BC, the 2 ends, David Benefield and Herman Smith, are playing hurt tonight. And Mike Fletcher, the linebacker, has the best hair in football. And in the secondary, in this first huddle, they're still making the introduction. Hi, I'm Ryan Doak. I'm the safety. Hello, I'm Byron Capers. I just came over from a trade from Toronto.
Well, Andrew Moore for Saskatchewan has a pretty good-looking lid at center, too. They'll whistle that down on second down and about 4.5 to go. Bud Steen in charge of proceedings here tonight.
Well, I look for the Saskatchewan Roughriders and Marvin Graves to go after this secondary, the BC Lions.
Illegal procedure. Saskatchewan 54. It'll be second down repeated.
Well, that's Jeremy O'Day, and he's in for John Terry at left tackle, making adjustments out there.
Danny Barrett's got to be licking his chops when he looks at that BC secondary. Lee Vaughn on the corner has half a game of experience in the CFL. Cedric Curry on the other corner. He's a rookie as well. Look for Curtis Marsh to go up on top early and often in this one.
2nd and 10. Saskatchewan move back now to the 51. Graves will get it away in a hurry. Curtis Marsh couldn't hang on. Now, is Marsh better outside or inside when you look at him as a receiver?
Well, I think he's the best receiver they have. So get him as close to Marvin Graves as you can get him and put him in that slot back position. I really believe that just helps. It opens the field up for him, too. He can break as far outside on any outside kind of pattern as he can back to the middle. So it gives him a lot more room to operate.
McCallum is in. Fletcher deep for BC, standing near the Lions 15. Fletcher at the 21. Hammered at the 25. Timeout at BC Place. No scoring so far. Allen gets the Lions offense on the field when we return.
Wendy's CFL Live on TSN is brought to you in part by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL, and by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
Lions 1st and 10. Here's Sean Millington, left side, head of steam, and he's in first down territory. Great run by Millington.
That's what the fans want to see. For Saskatchewan to win this game, and we've already talked about it, I think they got to go up on top against a secondary that is playing together for the first time tonight.
And for the Lions, we talked about it already, but two big guys like this in the backfield, you've got to run.
Commit to the run and run. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders have got to get past this one. 9 of the last 10 have been BC against this team.
2nd down, less than a yard to go, and the Lions do have that first down.
John, I can tell the Lions are committing to the run early because in that last play, the big run by Millington, they went with 2 tight ends. If you're putting the tight end set in there, you're committed to the run. So obviously, the game plan is going to be revolving around 25 and 29 in the lineup.
From the BC 38. Trouble. He escapes. Will throw on the run or duck out of bounds, which he decides to do after a gain of a couple. Make it a 3-yard gain for Damon Allen.
Well, when you look at the numbers after 2 weeks for Robert Drummond and Sean Millington, you'd just be shaking your head, as Steve Barato has done throughout this week. A 4.0 average for Millington. 3.3 for Robert Drummond.
Yeah, and here's a telling tale from last week. 12 carries between them for 44 yards.
Yeah, these guys need to carry the ball between them 30, 35 times maybe in a game.
2nd and 7. Blair to the near side. Allen looks in this direction and has Don Blair. That's good for the first down near midfield.
Well, when they do throw the ball, you know that Alfred Jackson is going to draw a lot of attention from the Saskatchewan defense. So that means that the rest of the receiving corps, Don Blair, Brett Anderson, and Danny Montana, are going to have to get involved when they do throw the football. Alfred Jackson is going to draw the double team quite often tonight.
Well, he drew it last week against the Tiger Cats, no doubt about that. 8 catches, 98 yards, and 1 touchdown for Jackson so far. He's the go-to guy. On first down, play action fake, Allen far side. Anderson had it for a moment, and they rule no catch. If
Omar Evans, John, had his head up, he's going the other way with the football. He's a halfback that was coming out of the zone defense and breaking downhill right after Brett Anderson. That ball's in the air. It takes a while to get outside, And watch how close Omar Evans is to getting that football.
They got better this year.
Good effort by Anderson, who got his first professional touchdown in week 1 against Edmonton.
Last year, this Rider secondary just 14 interceptions on the season, which was ranked last in the league. But this year, they're playing more zones under Richie Hall.
Shotgun for Allen. Second in a bunch. Blair made the catch, but he's out of bounds. Nice effort by Don Blair, but he was rolled out of bounds before he came down with the ball.
Really was quite a catch. Doesn't count. It looked good.
Matt Gellett, 5 of 7 for 71% as a field goal kicker in relief of Lou Pasaglia. And here's Demetrius Bendros back at the 10. Couple of first downs for the Lions. They'll gain on field position if Bendros doesn't get a good return. High and away from Bendros at the 20. Not a bad return. Millington leading the special teams tacklers for the Lions. Out to the 25. No scores so far on Wendy's CFL Live. Penalty on the return. The Riders begin this drive at the 10. Here's Farhead.
Thanks, John. I had a chance to talk to Lions defensive coordinator Gary Etcheverry before this game. Obviously, this game means a great deal to him because he was a coach with Saskatchewan last year. Etcheverry might be the Lions' unsung hero this season with all of the changes in the Lions secondary. He says that he plans to be more aggressive instead of playing a little more zone and backing off with these defensive backs. He says the best way to hide them is to attack and put pressure on the quarterback.
And the Lions love to blitz, don't they?
Well, it's very interesting because if you do that, you put your secondary guys in one-on-ones. And so basically it's Curtis Marsh against Cedric Curry or Lee Vaughn. Not a lot of experience between those two. Remember, Marsh led the league last year. So we'll see if they can hold up.
First and 10. Saskatchewan beginning at the 10. No score at BC Place. Graves keeps it on the ground. Brock Preston breaks out of there. He's used in tandem with Darren Davis, and they're even thinking about using twin tailbacks, but as it stands right now, Preston got the first carry.
Yeah, and it's tough to take Chris Zarka out of that formation as well, because if that's what they'd have to do to get Darren Davis and Brock Preston on the field together, you take Chris Zarka out, you're really taking another offensive lineman out of there.
Well, and Zarka's averaging 8.5 yards a carry when he gets the ball. Not all that frequently, but that's a nice number. Mix up there, and Graves gets out to the 20. He'll have a first down for the Roughriders.
Now, the Riders in this game have had to do some flip-flopping. You talked about it when we did the introductions with that offensive line, and Jeremy O'Day is asked to go out and play the tackle. He was the center for the first 2 weeks. John Terry is injured. With the injury to Terry now, O'Day goes to the tackle, and he'll flip-flop sides depending on where they are on the field. And then it brings in Andrew Moore at center.
Saskatchewan first down. Riders try the right side with Zarka.
My point in all that is you got a new center in there, and one injury has caused 2 changes in your offensive line to get Jeremy O'Day, who has to now move from center to tackle.
Toya Jones moved up for the tackle on Zarka there. He was in the secondary last week and lines up as a linebacker again this week.
There's Andrew Moore has to step in, John, as the center.
Second and 5. Bendros will have the first down. Wrapped up by Cedric Curry.
You know, and you wonder, with the new center and Andrew Moore in there, is whether or not you'll see some fumbles between quarterback and center in that exchange. But this is just a quick passing game for Marvin Graves, and something that Saskatchewan felt they didn't do well last week, and that's get the ball out of Graves' hands in a hurry and get it to their playmakers.
10 yards the game. Another Saskatchewan first down. Reception by Bendros. Now he had it, and they call it a catch. He lost it on the hit. They marked it down at the 40-yard line.
Well, Lee Vaughn bent Bendros backwards.
Little smash mouth football right there. And did the Lions get an early whistle there, or the Riders get an early whistle, I should say?
That's 4 yards and a migraine.
Yeah. Second down, Saskatchewan. Batted down at the line. That's David Benefield. Playing on a wonky ankle.
Well, he got up there on that bad ankle, and in the quick passing game that the Riders have come out and shown in the first couple of series, defensive linemen have to try and guard against becoming frustrated, because you really can't get there. You can't get home to the quarterback in that quick passing game. But Benefield does the next best thing, which is get his hands up and knocks the ball down.
It's been an intense battle so far. No points on the board as McCallum steps in. He'd like to have his first one back. It traveled 38 yards. Taylor is deep for BC. That's Tyrone Taylor. Great name for a ball player. McCallum sails this one.
Good kick.
Bouncing back to the 20. Taylor picks it up, and yes, there should be a flag there. Riders all around after a 47-yard punt. First down, BC, when we return to the stadium at BC Place. Lions were embarrassed last week against the Tiger Cats, and Steve Barato promises they'll be better tonight.
Well, I think that we're going to have a good outing, not so much because it's the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but because we have skilled, proud, professional football players who were not very good last week, and you don't let that happen to you twice in a row. And they have been very good in their preparation this week, very determined that what happened last week will not happen again.
Yeah,
Drummond for a couple on that play.
I think Steve Barato is talking directly to Corey Mantica, Dan Payne, Jamie Terrace, Steve Harden, and Craig Hendrickson. That's the 5 up front. And he wants to see better games out of them.
They talked about a short week, a long trip to Hamilton, and then a big barbecue at the owner's home in Steeltown. David Braley threw a barbecue, and it was a tough week on the Lions offensive line all around. This is second down. Anderson made the catch, but he was wrapped up in a hurry.
The timing wasn't quite right. What happened over on this side of the football field was Don Blair and Brett Anderson tried to run a little rub play. It's where they try and pick off the defensive back to the left of your screen, but they got kind of crossed up, and when they did, they really couldn't get a good separation. They'll go and talk that over on the sideline. So those plays have to be precise. You have to be right on your mark when you get over there, and they almost ran into each other.
Roll Preston back for Saskatchewan near the 32. Matt Kellett. Another high booming punt. Return about 6 yards after a 46-yard kick from Kellett. Ryan Doak leading the tacklers, so Graves gets another crack at it. Off to McMahon in Calgary. We'll see if the Stampeders can turn things around after an 0-3 start.
Unfamiliar territory for Wally Buono and the Calgary Stampeders.
Lions will be there on Wendy's Friday Night Football. Next Friday.
You have to go back in the record books to find an 0-3 start for Calgary.
A couple of years ago, the Stampeders did have a tough start, but it wasn't quite 0-3
turned it around in a hurry, yeah.
I think they won the first and then lost 3. Here's Ben Ross coming back to grab this. He's hammered trying to cross the 40. Derek Lewis, the only veteran of that BC Lions secondary, made the tackle.
Again, Saskatchewan with the quick passing game. And the whole reason for it is to take some of the decision process out of the hands of Marvin Graves. Now he knows, just take that ball, take 3 steps, and get rid of it. Get it into Curtis Marsh's hands, Demetrius Bendra's hands, and let the playmakers make the plays.
All 4 completions for Graves thus far to Demetrius Bendras. On second down, this isn't Bendras, this is Curtis Marsh. And he's short of the first down by about 4 yards. And again, Lewis, Derek Lewis with a stop.
Well, Curtis Marsh has to come way back behind the line of scrimmage, and when he does, it becomes a lateral, he has to go back and get it. And that's why he can't get up and get the first down, because the Lions rally and gang tackle him over there on the sideline. But he had to go way back to retrieve that football.
McCallum is in. Tyrone Taylor back. Another booming punt by Paul McCallum. Chasing Taylor back to the 20. Nice return brewing here. Nice spin move. He's out to the 45.
John, you mentioned that Alfred Jackson, the go-to guy for Damon Allen, was really shut down last week against Hamilton. And I talked to Don Southern, their defensive coordinator. He said they double-teamed him. There's 3 ways you can stop a receiver. You can try and hold up one-on-one, which so far Saskatchewan's done a little bit of. Double-team him, or play zone against him and see if you can't have 2 or 3 defenders circle around him, sort of a zone concept. So we'll take a look at how they shut down Alfred Jackson, or at least attempt to, in this game tonight.
Great return of 26 yards sets the Lions up. At the 46, Damon Allen will put it up, looking deep, and a little too far as he looked for Dennis Montana.
Yeah, and I think Montana sort of hesitated on the sideline. They wanted to go with a little out-and-up pattern, or where he turns to the outside and then gets the pump fake from Damon, and then he takes off and runs down the sideline, but he hesitated just a little too long. The ball's overthrown. The other element of this offense for the BC Lions that we haven't seen much of is number 9 running the football. Damon Allen usually runs more than he has in the last 2 games, just 6 carries.
2nd and 10. This is Jackson. Good move to freeze one Rough Rider defender, but he's well short of the first down. Maybe 4 yards there. Jackie Mitchell.
Well, we saw this play to Curtis Marsh when Saskatchewan had the ball. Very similar play to Alfred Jackson. Again, just an opportunity to get the football in one of your best players' hands. Omar Evans gets some help from Mitchell over there.
Yeah, the 2 of them combining there.
To hold Alfred Jackson short of the first down.
Kellett is in. 2 deep for Saskatchewan. Bendross is back along with Preston. Roll Preston. Room to the outside, turns the corner. Got a block, and the Riders get much better field position for this possession.
He's got some quicks. He has got some quicks. Roll Preston on a bit of a roll after last week. A big catch from Marvin Graves. Graves hit him on a 78-yard touchdown against the Edmonton Eskimos. And 5 of 7 tonight. Hasn't really thrown the ball down the field, but he's been in that quick passing game.
Percentage isn't bad. The yards not spectacular as yet.
You know, the other theory in the quick passing game is that you get it out there, and if one guy misses a tackle, it's a big gain. So it's a high percentage throw with the potential of a big run from your receiver.
Riders beginning, Saskatchewan 29. Rock Preston turns the corner. He's got better than 5. Barron Simpson, the middle linebacker, made the tackle for BC.
2 guys had a crack at Rock Preston in the backfield. One was David Benefield, and one was Herman Smith. Both are playing hurt. There's Herman Smith. He had the first chance. He was being held a little bit there, and Saskatchewan got away with it, and Benefield tried to run him down. 91 and 56, both playing hurt. And we'll take a close look at that throughout this game. That's your 2 bookends on defense.
2nd and 4. Riders from the 35. Graves from the shotgun. Bendross with a catch. First down, Rough Riders. Bendross is rolled out near the 45. Cedric Curry, brand new on the corner, in for Eric Carter with a shoulder injury, and he'll be back next week, the Lions hope.
Quick picks. They know the BC Lions are playing a lot of man-to-man, so you have Bendross underneath, and Just let him try and pick up the first down at his own, which he does.
Again, short passes, and Bendros has a few of them so far tonight. Here's Graves with time, far side, as Wool pressed it. Cedric Curry got a hold of one leg there. Only a matter of time before number 88 makes a catch tonight. I mean, he made one out of the backfield.
Yeah, Bendros right now and Preston, the two receivers that Marvin Graves really looking at, and they're the wide receivers. A lot of times they'll be involved in that hitch in the quick passing game. Curtis Marsh is playing inside in the slot position.
Comes to the near side at slot back. Curtis Marsh on second down. Zarka for the first down as the Riders move the yardsticks one more time. Mike Fletcher made the tackle. He was a defensive back for the Lions last year, playing linebacker at the start of this season. You know, you got out of the game just in time.
you got
because
that
they
right.
would have had you at a linebacker and the career might have been shorter. What do you think?
At least in half. Mike Fletcher, the linebackers are getting smaller, but just as strong.
Yeah, but you have to tackle the big guys when you move up from the secondary. You know. First down, Saskatchewan. Graves has Zarka over the middle. Another Saskatchewan first down on the final play of the opening quarter. Jason Krause leading the Lion tacklers there. Pretty good ball game here tonight. No scoring up yet. Saskatchewan and the BC Lions here at BC Place.
Wendy, CFL live at the quarter.
I don't know, Wellesley, we beg to differ. I got an idea. Why don't you guys tell some old football stories, and we'll get back to this game when something's going on.
No.
You want to tell us about Louisiana Tech?
No.
No? Not exactly an action-packed first quarter in the eyes of the panel anyway, but there was one play, Eric Tillman, that is worth reviewing.
Yeah, well, in a close game, every play counts, and in my opinion, we saw a major faux pas in the first quarter by the officiating crew. I think clearly, if you look at it, it's a short side hitch from Graves to Bendros, a great play by Vaughn, separates the ball. Capers walks in here for 7, but we had a quick whistle. That's 7 points off the board, and you wonder why coaches have gray hair, Matt.
Well, and they're going to try to get rid of that gray or stop that aging process by getting both of these offenses on track. And what we're seeing is the run game and quick, high percentage throws. This is going back to the fundamentals, folks. This is going back to the basics. This is how offenses get back on track, is by executing. And what they're doing is executing high percentage plays that gives them a chance, Chris. We've seen both Saskatchewan and BC do that in the first quarter.
Yeah, and I like some of the play calling by Saskatchewan because they've run the option a couple times. They've done the quick hitting fullback dive with Chris Sarkin, and Matt mentioned the 3-step drops. What does that do? It takes the aggressiveness out of that defensive line. Remember, Gary Echeverry is one coach that's going to run down quarterbacks and make them, force them into a mistake. As long as Graves, the quarterback for Saskatchewan, does not make that one big play, they're going to be in this game all the way through the fourth quarter.
Well, right now, it's obviously anybody's game. It's a scoreless ball game, 0-0 as we take you back to BC Place. Here again is John Wells and Glenn Suter.
David is scoreless, but I think Saskatchewan has the advantage through the first quarter.
Well, it's a defensive struggle, and you know I love to see a defensive struggle, but you're right. Both defenses are right now playing pretty well. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have the advantage because they're starting to get a drive together and got a little bit of a field position advantage.
And both offenses are very patient so far, too.
Yeah, you really have to be. You know, dump the ball underneath, take what the defense is giving you, and right now they're giving you the underneath, and that's both sides, BC Lions and Saskatchewan. So this is the kind of game where you think that one big turnover for a touchdown, interception, or the punt return for a touchdown breaks it wide open.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of decent returns on kickoffs and on punts, and we're awaiting the arrival of Curtis Marsh with a big play for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Perhaps on this drive, Saskatchewan set up first down.
So they got two tight ends in there again offensively.
Inside the BC 40, Graves keeps it on the ground for Rock Preston. Numbers from the opening quarter decently close, except in time of possession where the advantage belongs to the Riders there.
Well, the first two series for the BC Lions, they rushed the football both times. Like that's all they did was run the ball, and that's where they got that 28 yards. It kind of went away from it in the second half of that first quarter. You got to be patient with the running game.
On a closer look, the Riders have almost twice as many yards offensively as the Lions. 2nd and 5. Graves getting a little heat, now looking deep. No one home. except the BC Lion defender. This is Mike Crum, first game back, playing center field. And it went right into his mitts.
Either Curtis Marsh changed the play on his own down the field, or Marvin Graves just thought he had called a different pattern, because Marvin Graves threw it to the corner, to the outside, and Curtis Marsh had run the post. And Mike Crum did exactly what the safety has to do, just follow the football.
Now on the return by Crum, an illegal block by the Lions will set BC up at the 3-yard line with a first down. So first turnover of the game. And Marsh and Graves were not on the same page.
Look what Marsh is doing. See, Marsh is going post. See, that's going right in the middle. You see Crum, 37 at the top of the screen. He went right to the football, just followed it out there. And the quarterback is going to throw the ball before Marsh makes that break. In other words, that ball is gone before Marsh decided to go to the middle. So they have to go over there and get that one straightened out. Obviously, not on the same page.
Lions began this season a couple of crumbs short of the full cookie, with Mike and Jason Crum both on the injury list. But Mike Crum gets his first chance in the lineup tonight, and he comes up with the interception.
Well, the plan was to have Mike Crum start the season. You know, they went with Ryan Doak and import, but they definitely wanted Mike Crum, and happy to have him back. He's got some experience back there.
Lions from deep in their own zone. That's Robert Drummond. And still, this running game is not sparkling for the BC Lions.
Just look at those numbers from last year for Robert Drummond, Sean Millington. I mean, is that over 3,000 if I do the math?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's added up for you there. See where it says total?
160.
Just read along. You see the total there?
Well, I was letting the viewer read the total.
Okay. And this year, 240 yards through 2 games.
Well, they just haven't given the opportunities this year.
Allen, quick release far side, and hammered immediately. Drummond as Omar Morgan, with 11 tackles last year, hammers.
Boy, this defense for the Saskatchewan Roughriders is flying around the football. They've got good speed, and Omar Morgan shows it right there, as Robert Drummond really has nowhere to turn with the ball. I talked to Damon Allen before the game about why the running game wasn't working for the BC Lions, and he quite simply told me, we got to get it done up front. The guys up front are not reestablishing the line of scrimmage into that defensive line area. Got to do that.
So the Riders give up the interception, but from where the returners stand, they will come away with superb field position again here, as Kellett gives up 2, and I guess that was the logical decision at that point in time. There was an adventure last week on the exchange between Jason Kralt on long snaps and Matt Kellett.
Yeah, Jason Kralt, 3 bad snaps a week ago that went for safeties. That was a good snap. That was the coach's decision.
Kralt having a better night, but Saskatchewan now has the lead as the Lions concede 2. British Open continues tomorrow on TSN. David Duval had a superb round today. Nice little approach here.
That's the cha-cha with the flagstick. It's a nice shot. What happened to Colin Montgomery?
Yeah, our coverage begins tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Duval, Woosnam, Langer. 9 players, 1 back.
Colin Montgomery's one of those 9. He was leading after 2 rounds.
Kickoff after the safety. Here's Demetrius Bendros. Out to the 40 and hammered there by several BC Lions, led by Ryan Doak. 22 on the return, lost his lid.
Yeah, I think right at the end of it too, Baron Simpson, the linebacker for the Lions, put a hat on that hat, and Bendros' hat came right off. Special teams are for special people. Watch this hit. Well, it was actually Doak.
Yeah, it was
the
Doak.
Safety, Ryan Doak. See, Mike Crum comes on and takes him and gets an interception in the safety, so he now wants to step it up on special teams.
Riders with a 2-0 lead. And this is Davis. Aaron Davis. Stopped by Bo Lewis. And a nice hole opens on the right side.
Sure does. Right to the right side. You're going to get a nice down block right here. Little kick out block. Gene Mikowski seals here. The lane is wide open, and if you give Darren Davis a lane like that, boy, he's gone.
Ran past Mike Crum. Second down. Less than a yard to go. Riders at the 49. Tight formation, and Graves dives ahead. He'll have the first down.
You know, when you run the quick passing game like Danny Barrett is employing in this game right now, the next step for it is that you throw that pump fake out there and then you go up over the top. Now, we thought that that could be a key for Saskatchewan with the new faces in the Lions secondary. So look for that, at least in this quarter, probably the third quarter by the time they get to it. Pump fake those quick little passes and go downtown with it.
Well, they might be setting up a couple of those fresh faces back there, too.
Exactly.
Saskatchewan offenses look much more impressive tonight. And the running game working well with Davis.
Another big hole. This time was Andrew Green with a nice block up front. And if you ask Danny Barrett, ask him straight up, what is the strength of your football team? He'll tell you it's the offensive line. So where the Lions have struggled there, Saskatchewan thinks that's their strength.
It's a veteran group in Saskatchewan without question, but I think when you look at it overall, a little bit younger than the Lion 5.
Yeah, no question. No question. But have played together for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Second and 3, and there's markers all over the field.
Andrew Moore, really the only newcomer, the only rookie in that group. He's the guy playing center now because of the changes we talked about.
But John Terry will be back shortly.
Yeah, and
illegal procedure. Saskatchewan 68. Repeat, second down.
There's Andrew Green, singled out there. Not many penalties thus far. I hate to say that.
Just 5, and that's good. Yeah, but now you've jinxed us. Marcel Belfay is the guy in charge of that big offensive line and doing a real nice job. He got the respect immediately when he walked on the field. Of course, he had a great run with the Ottawa Gee-Gees.
Second and 8 now, Saskatchewan. Shotgun. Early movement. Flags again. Near side. There's Curtis Marsh.
Well, it looked like Herman Smith might have jumped offside, so I think this play will stand. But Curtis Marsh, this time not using his speed or his athletic ability, but using his head. Takes a look. He sees that he's got a double coverage. Got to just turn away to the outside.
Working on
offside.
Number 21.
Byron Capers, yeah, the newcomer to the lineup. And Capers is trying to get a fresh start. Mike Clemens in Toronto said that Byron Capers had lost his confidence. And that's why he made the change. And he was hoping that Byron Capers could come to BC and maybe get it back and get a new fresh start. And that's what Capers is trying to do. He'll get a good test tonight if Curtis Marsh is going to be inside against him all game long.
First and 10 Riders. They move to the BC 45. Graves back in a hurry. Under the cover. This is Chris Sarka. Hit down, and he's to the 35. Great story into his own is Chris Sarka.
Well, yeah, he really is. And this is why it's tough to get both Darren Davis and Rock Preston in the lineup, because Zarka's playing so well. I mean, you give him the ball, he's picking up a lot of yards. You talked about his average earlier. He blocks so well for Marvin Graves, and that's the key, because he's the guy on the backside that can help out that tackle. He can pick out the Joe Mumfords of the league, the David Benefields.
I talked about his average at 8.5, only 6 carries for 51 yards coming in, but when you hand the guy the football on occasion and he can do that for you, you've obviously got a very positive factor in the backfield, and he's an outstanding blocker as well.
Well, 5 years of experience, all with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, so well, it's tough to get a guy like that out of the locker. And the other thing is he becomes a leader.
A link short of the first down.
And I'm certainly not implying that Danny Barrett is trying to get him out of the lineup. He's very, very happy with Chris Zarka.
Preston. That's Roll Preston to the near side as Saskatchewan moves to the Lions 35. Second down. A link to go. No flags. That'll be a first down Roughriders as this drive continues.
Saskatchewan Roughriders are really starting to move the ball between the 30-yard lines, but they're not finishing drives, and that's something that can come back to haunt you. Last week, the Riders were in what they call the green zone. Normally, people call it the red zone. That's inside the 35-yard line, okay? They were inside that thing 4 times and came away with just 3 points.
Well, then it's the red zone because you're stopped.
Well, yeah.
Right?
But they don't want to call it the red zone because green means go. But it wasn't go
call it
last
the green
week.
zone and you're into the end zone. First down, Saskatchewan. Zarka powers his way inside the 30 to about the 28. And he ran into middle linebacker Barron Simpson there. Riders got into BC territory on the last drive, and Graves had a little miscommunication with Curtis Marsh that resulted in Mike Crum's interception. There's 2 points on the board, a safety given up by the Lions. On second down, quick out. Davis turns the corner. Leave on over to make the tackle, number 26. He's brand new in there for the Lions as well.
Well, and this was what the good decision by Marvin Graves to go to Darren Davis just because of alignment. It's a long way to go to get over there in coverage for Toya Jones.
Safe throw and a very patient drive for Saskatchewan here. 10-yard gain. The Riders are set up inside the BC 20. Pressure is on that Lions secondary now. Graves had trouble, got it back. May have room to run. Now tosses to the end zone. An easy 6. Yes. Mendros has the touchdown, first of the night.
Hey, sometimes you got to just make it up as you go along.
And Graves did a heck of a job there.
Well, he really did. It'll go down so far in this game that the best offensive play for the Saskatchewan Roughriders was a broken play. As Graves just tried to scramble around and little sandlot football and look down the field, and sure enough, Demetrius Bendros is in behind the coverage, and Bo Lewis just can't get back in time.
And a rather safe toss to Bendros when he's back there with about 5 yards on the last defender. McCallum hammers the convert through. The Riders, impressive offensively, have a 9-0 lead on the BC Lions.
Here's a good look at why Marvin Graves had a chance. This is Herman Smith. His job on the play is to contain. When he sees the ball hits the turf, he comes underneath. When he does to go after that fumble, Jeremy O'Day just seals him down inside. See him go underneath there. He goes after the fumble. Now he's lost contain. That gives Marvin Graves a chance to get outside, and when he does, he has time to find Bendros. And he had to do that because he tried to one-hand the snap. Not a bad snap. Tried to one-hand it, but got a little bit lucky when Herman Smith went in there after the football.
Well, that's great athletic ability by Graves.
Sure is.
Been on 12 of 15 for 110 yards. 1 touchdown tonight. And the Riders have the lead. Taylor returning for BC after the Saskatchewan kickoff, and he's down near the 40-yard line. Bendros has the first touchdown of the evening. 5:27 on an impressive drive, Glenn.
Yeah, and that 19-yard catch, most impressive on a broken play.
70 yards.
Today at the quarterback position, sometimes you got to make it up. Flutie made a career out of it.
He did. Damon Allen has made a bit of a career
he
out
has
of
made
it
a
too,
career out
without
of it as
question.
well.
And he'll try and respond here for the BC Lions offensively.
Eddie Davis.
Sean Millington right side. Super play by McCallum. Well, took on Millington.
The key for Sean Millington is that you don't ever let him get his shoulders going north and south, because when he's going from one sideline to the other, watch how he takes off this way. If that D-line can make those shoulders, hold it there, guys, for a second. Look at the shoulders. He got to get them that way. If he gets them that way, it's a tougher tackle. But McCullough comes up and cuts him down because his shoulders are going to the sideline.
Gain is 5. 2nd and 5 more necessary for the Lions. Allen will put it up. And that was tipped at the line. Intended for Brett Anderson, I believe. And I think Scribner might have got a hand on that.
Yeah, and you know what? Damon Allen on 2nd down in this game so far has been in the pocket completely. The entire time he's been sitting right in that pocket. Damon Allen is a guy that I truly believe you got to move him around. You got to let him use his legs to beat you to the outside. Coming into this game, he had a .8-yard average running the football. That's not Damon Allen. His career average is close to 8 yards. He brings an extra element when he can run.
2nd all-time in rushing in Canadian football, 1st among quarterbacks, and that's how he's had success.
That's right. And he's not doing it so far in this game.
At least threatening to do that.
Well, and it looks like it's by design of the offense, not really his choice not to run.
Nice kick by Matt Kellett. Bendras is run out near the 22. Just one on the return. That was Toya Jones. Riders have the lead at 9-0. Lions won the title last November. They haven't looked like Grey Cup champs tonight. Here's Farhan.
Thanks, John. We're here with outgoing Lions president Glenn Ringdahl. And Glenn, it's your last game as the Lions president. What are you going to miss most?
Well, coming up here and being really part of the action. Certainly I'm still going to be here. I have my season tickets, and I'll be here every game that I can be cheering our team on. But I guess just being part of an exciting action. The BC Lions is a big thing in British Columbia, and it's been fun to be part of it again for 5 years.
Well, thanks for your time.
And there's good luck as Bo Lewis comes up with the interception.
French went up, tried to pull down a tough catch on the sideline. It went through his fingers and right into Bo Lewis's hands. He's number 17 at the bottom of your screen. Again, Marvin Graves flushed out of the pocket, and that ball had that NCAA wobble on it.
It was a wobbler, no doubt about it. French got his hands on it. Lewis makes a good play, and the Lions have their first chance to score here tonight.
I say NCAA because every college throw has that wobble on it.
There have been a few wobblers in this league as well.
Yeah, well,
like that one right there.
Well, this is a golden opportunity for BC to answer.
Turnover at the Saskatchewan 28. Lions keep it on the ground with Drummond. Celebrating down there is Napastuk for Saskatchewan with the tackle. But Drummond has 4, maybe 5 yards.
I want to just show you one thing quickly here. This is the play where Drummond goes like this, but I want you to see Damon Allen come out here like this. Watch Damon Allen, because this is something that they will come back. See Damon Allen on that bootleg? He disappears to the right. No one from the Saskatchewan defense tracked him without the football. Look for Allen to pull that ball out of there on the next one.
Allen from the shotgun. 2nd and 6. Wide open. And oh, what a great defensive play by Omar Evans. The target was wide open, and that one is batted away by Evans.
It was a great play, John, because Omar Evans made up for an error. He was way too shallow in his drop. What I mean by that is he's supposed to get good depth, get back to about 10, 15 yards, and he's way shallow.
Whoa.
If that ball goes over his head,
Blair's in the end zone.
He's in the end zone. Don Blair scores, but he made up for it with athletic ability.
Blair was out there and waiting. Solid play by number 25, Evans for Saskatchewan. And a 31-yard field goal try here for Matt Kellett.
Matt Kellett's going to take a time count because Don Blair did not come into the game. He's on the field goal team.
Now Blair has gone out again.
So Kellett, rather than take the penalty, now he'll take the time
hold.
Now you know what? It's tough when the holder forgets
that we're going
on
for
the
3.
Field,
yeah,
on the field goal.
You never forgot.
Well,
did you?
Well, now that I've been out of the league for a long time, I can lie about it and say no. Don Blair was the intended receiver, and he forgot to come out and hold.
And that'll cost them 3 points. The error by Blair.
Watch out, he's got room.
This is Bendras. It'll cost them 1.2 as Bendras gets out near the 35. So a costly error by the holder. Ball squirted loose, but the Riders get it back. And Bendras shaken up.
Well, this is bizarre because Don Blair comes out late, and he really must have thrown Matt Kellett's rhythm off a little bit.
Well, he cost them yardage, too, on the field goal try.
Yeah, another 5 yards, no question. And then Bendros against all those offensive linemen that are on field goal protection team. Jamie Terrace maybe saved a touchdown.
It says here on my list that Don Blair is the #1 holder for the Lions, followed by Corbin and Rivers, but it was a tough mistake for the BC Lions, who were set up after the interception at the 28 and come away with the big goose egg 0.
Well, you never want to do that, and that's just, you know, a loss of focus for Don Blair. I mean, he was the intended receiver when Omar Evans knocked that ball down, and he went right from there, which was right on the BC sideline, and he went straight to the bench. And when he did that, he didn't realize that the field goal team was now on the field, and there's only 20 seconds between plays. If you walk over there, take your helmet off, it's too long to get on. Matt Kellett wisely took the time count violation. He didn't have holder.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's going to try to kick it out of midair.
Well, I don't know if wisely is the way to put that if you don't have a holder.
Well, I mean, he's just saying, wait a minute, not only are we a man short, but I got no one back here to hold the football, and I can't do them both.
You know, the drop kick is still legal in this league.
You're right.
And it still counts for 3.
You're right.
Sports Desk follows us this evening. We'll have all the stories, scores, and highlights coming up after the match here at BC Place. David Amber, Dan Pollard are on the desk tonight, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Pacific time. So if the Lions lose this thing tonight, this could be a real costly succession of plays. Bendros seems to be okay for Saskatchewan, as Dr. Jack down there has everything under control.
Yeah, Bendros was the guy on the return on the missed field goal.
He's had a nice night.
He has been. He's been the go-to guy for Graves.
Darren Davis wrapped up after a gain of 5.
That's a big tackle by Mike Fletcher. You know, Darren Davis had a bit of a hole there to go through, and Fletcher closed that hole in a hurry. You know, what they lack in size, they make up in quickness. And you cannot dispute that hair. I mean, come on.
You've got to work on a do like that, don't you?
That's by design. That doesn't just happen. He's got the 3-point system going on underneath that cap.
Tough to get the helmet on over that and have it neat looking after the game. Here's Graves. And he's got Roel Preston, who steps out after claiming the first down. 3 minutes to halftime. The Roughriders offensively have done a pretty nice job, and the BC Lions have messed up a couple of opportunities. Never a bad postcard from Glenn Suter's hometown.
Hey, this guy right here, he used to live kind of right over here.
Yeah, now he's a Toronto guy.
Now he lives. Is this east? Is that east?
No, you're going the wrong way.
Or is that east?
Yeah, that's east.
Okay.
Well, okay, Dunnigan used to live here. He was a quarterback here.
Yeah.
Tillman won a Grey Cup as the general manager in BC. And Chris Schultz, I don't even know if he won a game out here.
Yeah, but see, when Dunnigan was out here, he just hung out on those yachts that you see floating around. He had the cash.
They'll be with us at halftime. Nice little roll move by Darren Davis. Nice spin right there.
Well, this is a great little matchup we got going here, because Mike Fletcher just made a great tackle on first down against Darren Davis, and then this time Davis comes back with a spin move and runs right out of the arms of Mike Fletcher. So 1-1, Fletcher and Davis.
Ryan Dokes made a couple of nice plays tonight. He's a raw rookie at starting safety. Second down and 2 to go, Saskatchewan. Is it enough?
Well, it might be enough to measure.
Zarka, the ball carrier, inside, and he ran into Noah Cantor.
You know, this is a formation that Danny Barrett looks at defensively, and yes, it's short yardage in there, but you got to think you might want to come back to, because look at what he got right here. Mike Fletcher is the only linebacker behind this line of scrimmage with 2 backs in the backfield. If one of those backs can get down on Mike Fletcher and Darren Davis has the football in his hands, there could be some room to run, and they're going to measure this one. But
how close? Just enough.
By a nose.
Well, yeah, that's all you need.
All you need.
Just
just a couple of dimples on that leather football to be ahead of the post.
You know, and sometimes a measurement can really help out the team offensively. I mean, it gives you a chance to have a little chat on the sidelines. Saskatchewan with 10 more first downs than the Lions.
That's amazing. Yeah. You know, and that has the Lion defense sucking air right now.
And 3 nice drives in a row for the Roughriders. Aaron Davis, only a couple that time. Barron Simpson, the middle linebacker, got the stop on him that time. Well, this is help from Greg Pollard.
One of the first times that the BC Lions defense now have Saskatchewan in second and long. Second and long meaning second and 8, 9, or 10 or more. Because so far the Saskatchewan quick passing game and a little bit of Darren Davis, a little bit of Chris Zarka has had Marvin Graves in second and 4 or 5. It's a little different playbook. Now he's got second and long, and he can expect a BC Lion blitz. Look at them, all on the line of scrimmage there.
Lions should be coming on second and 9.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Graves barely got it away.
Oh, yeah.
And Cedric Curry almost had the interception, so Graves got hammered from behind.
John, this is a different defense on second and long. Gary Etcheverry loves to go with the blitz on second and long. In fact, he gets fired up. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, they don't all come, but a whole bunch of them do. 9 on the line of scrimmage.
Well,
8
3
of them
on the
go.
right side.
8 of them go. I mean, you got to get rid of that football in a hurry. And Marvin Graves, I mean, that's a BC Lion team meeting back there. Gary Etcheverry gets pumped up when it's second and long. Defensive coordinators think that's their time.
Byron Capers got his hands on Graves. And the Lions will get another opportunity here to close out the first half. Tyrone Taylor returning for 6. Randy Swerchinski making the tackle for the Roughriders. And looking at the quarterbacks, it's not close thus far. The veteran Damon Allen, 4 of 9 for 19 yards. And Graves is not a rookie, but 13 of 18 for 119. That's quite a difference.
Yeah, Damon Allen's got to get it going. 6 series now, 2 and out for the BC Lions. That keeps your defense on the field. Damon Allen's got to start moving that pocket around and get things going. Graves is doing his job.
Yeah, and Graves is only a rookie when you look at finally getting a team to call his own, which he has in Saskatchewan this year. He's been around, there's no question about that. Toronto 94, 95, Hamilton 96, quick stop in Montreal in 97, but it was never Marvin Graves' team when he was in any of those places.
That's why Danny Barrett thinks he has Marvin Graves at the perfect time.
He knows the game, and he's had some experience. There's no doubt about that either.
And a quarterback sometimes just needs to be told, this is your team, and that's what he's told Marvin Graves.
Danny Barrett didn't get a starting job in his first few seasons in the CFL, but he threw his first touchdown pass right here at BC Place.
And I think you know why the quarterback likes to hear that is because it takes a little of the pressure off them. They know that if they make 1 or 2 mistakes early in the season, it's not going to cost them their job. They don't have to look over their shoulder. And Danny Barrett knows that feeling more than anybody.
Into the final minute and a half here in the first half with Saskatchewan on top of the Lions. 9-0. Oh, that's not good for the Lions.
Flat out ugly. Flat out ugly right there.
Let's see what Allen can do with just over a minute to go. Here's Alfred Jackson, and that works well. Out across the 20 to the 28-yard line, Alfred Jackson.
Well, a little quick screen to get things going, and then Damon Allen will go into the hurry-up offense, and that can sometimes give you a little rhythm. BC Lions desperately need a little momentum going in at halftime. They have a minute 17, which is plenty of time to drive the field.
This works too. Quick toss to Sean Millington. So you wonder why the Lions are having this kind of success. Well, they're using the hurry-up offense for starters and trying to move quickly with time ticking down in the first half.
But Damon Allen is still planted in that pocket. He is not rolled out in this game. And he's one of the best in the business in the history of the game throwing on the run. In the pocket again.
Couple of fake throws, and he's got Ryan Thelwall for a huge play. Omar Evans was covering on Ryan Thelwall.
Well, he gets pretty good protection on the play action because Sean Millington seals the back side of that play on Aaron Collins, and when he does that, it gives Damon Allen time from that pocket to find Thelwell on the sideline. And Evans, who's had a great game defensively, is the guy who is in chase.
26 yards the gain for the Lions. They're set up at the 50.
Here comes a little roll. This is the Lions we're talking about. Again, the shovel series. That was the BC Lions to a T in the playoffs in the Grey Cup game a year ago. Running this shovel series where Damon Allen rolls to the one side or the other and has a running back underneath either Millington or Drummond to pitch it to.
You wonder why the Lions have waited so long to show us all of this. Allen has 43 yards on his last 3 completions. And BC is inside the Saskatchewan 50. Whoa, Alfred Jackson. Oh, baby.
Man, you won't see many that's about as good as it gets right there. That's a tough catch. Allen had the blitz coming, and look at that. Alfred Jackson had to put the brakes on.
He turned and then laid out.
Go horizontal and come up with it.
1st and 10 at the Saskatchewan 34. Allen near side. Oh! Overthrew. Dennis Montana.
Alfred Jackson was wide open on the opposite side of the field, like wide open. He'll come and mention Damon, get in that huddle again and say, hey, remember me? I was the guy who just made that spectacular one a play ago.
Well, and Jackson is no doubt the go-to receiver for the BC Lions. But Thelwall, Ryan Thelwall has made the biggest catch of this drive for 26 yards. This is 2nd and 10. Well, 3 receivers near side. Here's Jackson. Needs a block. Can't quite turn the corner, but there's a flag down at the 31. Jackson is short of the first down.
Brett Anderson was trying to throw a block for Alfred Jackson down there. And so was Montana, and they were both trying to block for Jackson. And that's where the flag came down.
Yeah, and they're talking to the Roughriders right now, so the infraction would appear to be against the Lions.
Well, this is a tough decision. 16 seconds left, but if you take the penalty,
Illegal
you give the
block.
Lions.
British Columbia. 2nd down repeated.
Yeah, see now, you take the penalty, you give the Lions another crack at it on 2nd down. Now it's 2nd and long, no question. You still give them another play. 16 seconds left. They have one more chance to get that first down. If you decline the penalty, I believe Jackson was short of the first down.
He was, yes, he was well short of the first down.
Well, you got a field goal attempt from the Lions there. At this point, I'm sure Danny Barrett is thinking, I pushed him basically out of field goal range, and I'll rely on my defense to hold him on one more down.
So this is 2nd down and a whole bunch, and now Allen takes off, and he won't get anywhere. Wrapped up by Aaron Collins, number 47. So now, a field goal is all that the Lions can come out of this impressive drive with, and
Steve Harden was the guy trying to block Collins. He's the guy who comes out here and he'll try and kick out Collins, but watch how quickly Collins gets around the block. See 61 pull, gets around that block in a hurry and wraps up Damon Allen, holds him to no gain.
Yeah, missing that block was really the key there. So now you have to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, and we hope Blair's on the field.
Yeah, he's out there.
There he is. Don Blair will put it up, and all of a sudden it's a long field goal for Kellett. And it's well short. Preston picks his way out to the 23. So miscues for the BC Lions cost points in the dying moments of the first half.
No question, and Matt Kellett has got to go talk to his holder.
9-0, Riders on top.
At the Half is brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL.
We do not have a camera. in the BC Lions dressing room. It's probably a good thing that we don't. Hi, everybody. Welcome back inside the CFL Live studio. Dave Randorf along with Eric Tillman and Matt Dunnigan and Chris Schultz. Coming into this game, both offenses were talking about how they had to get all their weapons moving. We finally saw signs of life from the Lions offense there. For the Riders, they've got a lot of weapons, but there was a lot of talk about the fact that Darren Davis hasn't really been involved. Demetrius Bendros hasn't really been involved. Till tonight, Davis is running the ball well, and Bendros, of course, 52 yards receiving already, like tripling his season total, and the touchdown catch, Matt. The Riders looked pretty good. They started to really control the ball there in the second quarter.
That's right. Well, it was the end of the first quarter, going into the second quarter, and they started dominating the game from that point on, Dave. And what happens is you control the line of scrimmage. You get the running game going. They're going to high percentage throws, which I said they had to get the offense on track. Well, it was successful for them. And how to beat Saskatchewan? Take away Curtis Marsh. So who's open now? Demetrius Bendros. Start feeding him the ball. He had a big second quarter. Now that offense is going to continue to open up. We saw BC get some rhythm going, Chris, there in the end. You know why? Hurry up offense. Offense is all about tempo, and Damon started feeling it. That's a good sign for the Lions.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they can keep that tempo. But I also think you talked about the offense defensively. Saskatchewan, this is one of their best games. And you look at the defensive coordinator, Richie Hall. Really, coordinators are not born. It's developed over time. He is a 9-year CFL player, 4 of them in Regina, 8 years as a positional coach. Remember, Ron Williams, the first game of the year, 100 yards. Then Mark Nora, 100 yards. I don't think the BC Lions are going to get 100 yards. Richie Hall is doing a good job of keeping his team together, and that, as much as the offense, that defense is playing pretty good too, Eric.
Yeah, they are, and certainly the BC Lions offense is doing nothing, or their old line is doing nothing to help them. These big guys are standing around, they're pushing and shoving, playing soft football. They need to get their butts down, create collisions, and have leverage throughout the play. In the battle of trenches, it's really about, it's just simple. Who wants it more? And in the first half, there's a reason Saskatchewan's ahead 9-0. The guys in green and white, they want it more.
Yeah. Steve Barratta was not a happy head coach after the loss last week in Hamilton. You can bet he's not happy right now. The Riders are happy. How about Marvin Graves? Throwing that nice touchdown pass to Bendros. It's 9-0 at the half.
This day in the CFL.
July 21st, 1993, Saskatchewan taking on the hometown Eskimos. Damon Allen threw for 3 touchdowns this night. 2 of them went to Eddie Brown, the other to Henry Gizmo Williams. Edmonton went on to win the Grey Cup that season, defeating the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
This day in the CFL, brought to you by Dodge. For power, payload, and big rig styling, nothing beats a Dodge truck.
Give you the scores from last night in the CFL. The big game was in Winnipeg, where the Montreal Alouettes jumped out to a 23-0 lead. The Bombers came back and made it interesting, but lost by 3. And in Edmonton, the Eskimos got good performances at the quarterback position from both Jason Moss and Nealon Green, and there's some interesting storylines there, isn't there, Matt?
Yeah, talking to Tom Higgins, he tells me, predetermined going into last night's game, Jason Moss going to take the 3rd series. If it's 2 and out, he gets another series. So what does he do? He takes the ball, puts it in the end zone. Now everybody's going, ooh, smiles on the sidelines. He says, no, we promised him 1 series, right? But this is a new philosophy. New coach, new philosophy. What happens here is he tells his team in today's rundown in meetings that they are now a 2-quarterback team, possibly 3 with Dan Crowley. He wants to develop these young quarterbacks, and that's exactly what Tom Higgins is going to do in Edmonton.
And in the game in Manitoba last night, I think the Montreal Alouettes made a statement. All week long, the talk was about the Bombers, their fast start, the home crowd. Well, what did Montreal do? They showed up, they played smart, physical football, and they won on the road. A great win for them. Still, I think you have to give the Bombers some credit, though, for the way they came back, Chris.
Yeah, and in Hamilton, they won another game in Toronto, but I really want to talk about Darren Flutie, number 3 now in terms of total yardage pass receiving, one of the classiest guys in the CFL. He's athletic, he's intelligent, he's humble, and I know right now if he's watching me saying, please shut up, I don't need any of this attention. He's just like that. But Darren, congratulations, you deserve that. That's a great, great accomplishment, number 3.
Started his CFL career with these BC Lions. Remember when he came in, it was like they were almost doing Doug Flutie a favor. The guy has obviously turned out to be a great player in this league. If you want to go out and see the likes of Darren Flutie or anybody who's playing in the CFL, here are the numbers to call. Starting in the West, moving on through the East. We'll be right back. You're watching Wendy's CFL Live. The halftime numbers are brought to you by Dodge. Matt, what do you see over there?
Well, this is pretty simple. 58 plus 40 equals...
Not enough.
Not enough. That's pretty ugly.
That's
the
not
BC
good.
Lions Need to get her going.
Danny Barrett's happy. He visited with Farhan Lalji.
Thank you very much, Danny. You're pitching a shutout in the first half. You've got to be happy with the play of your defense.
Well, overall, I think overall team effort is great right now. A lot of intensity, especially from the defense. And offensively, we're doing the right things. We just need to protect the football.
Also, you've been able to move the ball well between the 30s, but when you've gotten down deep, except for the one broken play touchdown, you haven't been able to score. What do you say to Marvin at halftime?
Well, just to be himself, not try to force the football. We're down there early. We need to get as many points as we can, especially with a high-powered offense like they have. But overall, I'm happy with his play, and I know he's going to be better the second half.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
9-0 at the half. What to look for in the second? Start with you, E.T.
Well, I think you've got to utilize Damon Allen's athletic ability. Get him out on the perimeter, make some big plays, and they also have got to capitalize on opportunities. You had 2 Saskatchewan turnovers in the first half. No points. You can't have a repeat of that, Matt.
Well, you look at the BC Lions going in this game. Hey, they were challenged offensively. I wouldn't want to be in that locker room this half right now. Steve Barato probably went off saying, guys, I'm challenged to be men. Take control of the business.
Don't yell at me, man. I'm like, okay.
Whatever
I
you
agree
say.
with what you say. That's you.
All right, well, Richie Hall, we talked about him, the defensive coordinator for the Riders, loves to see plays like this. How about Omar Evans stretching out, taking away what could have been a touchdown pass to Donnie Blair. As a result, it's 9-0. Second half coming right up.
Did not have a sparkling first half. It's time for BC to adjust. Here's Farhan.
Thank you very much, Coach. The numbers speaks for themselves. No points, just 5 first downs and less than 100 yards of offense. What do you do differently in the second half?
We finish some of the plays that we're getting and make sure that the Saskatchewan guys don't get in our way. They got a couple of plays. They knocked down a ball that was wide open. We have to just finish the plays, keep slugging, keep working on what we've been doing, and make some completions. They were there. We just didn't get it completed. We got to get them completed.
With the number of changes in your secondary, are you happy with the play of your defense?
They're doing well. They're struggling. Saskatchewan's a good offense. They're flying around making tackles like they've been doing all year. They let him get out there and find one in the end zone on us. Other than that, they got no touchdown.
Coach, good luck in the second half.
Lions haven't allowed a touchdown in a couple of games until here tonight, at least on defense.
Yeah, and the defense has been on the field way too long, and you know, Steve Barato knows that better than anybody. You can't leave even a great defense on the field for a long time, let alone a defense like he has that has a whole bunch of new faces out there. And the guy he's talking to, he's the key to keeping them off the field, and that's Sean Millington offensively.
Ready for the second half kickoff from the BC Lions. It will go to Rock or roll, Preston. This is Rock at the 22, across the 30, and out to about the 37-yard line. Mike Fletcher leading the tacklers for the Lions. Marvin Graves good on 13 of 18, 119 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. But the interesting number there, Glenn, is the interceptions didn't cost points. One was deep in BC territory, and then the Lions messed up the opportunity for a field goal in the second.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Marvin Graves is sort of in the right time for Danny Barrett to take him because of his experience. You know, one thing that you should mention, too, is that Marvin Graves has played behind some good quarterbacks. Guys like Doug Flutie, Kent Austin, Tracy Ham. Those are 3 pretty big names in Canadian football, and he's played behind, so he's got some experience and some different learning experiences from different guys.
Nice to see him get a chance with his own team. Davis is wrapped up on a fine defensive play by Noah Cantor.
Well, remember we talked about Gary Echeverry's second and long philosophy. Well, guess what Saskatchewan's in now?
Second and about as long as you can get.
Thanks to Noah Cantor.
There was no gain on the play. Actually, a loss of a little bit, maybe a half a yard.
See, he starts getting fired up right now. He goes, okay, how many guys do I have out there and how many can I send at the quarterback?
He sent a bunch the last time he was in this situation, late in the first half.
Well, let's take a look. They've got 8 on the line of scrimmage right now, and Marvin Graves doesn't like it. Marvin Graves took a look at that defense. He saw the time clock ticking down. You only get 20 seconds. He said, no, you know what?
I'll take 5 here because there were too many guys with their eyes wide open lined up.
And, you know, now it's 2nd and 15. It changes it a little bit defensively because now you want to force the little throw underneath, right? Now you want to make the offense kind of just dump it off, come and make the tackle. They punt the football. But I don't know if Gary Echeverry will do it there. He's got them all up there again. There's 2, 4, 6, 8 up on the line of scrimmage.
For Preston, couldn't hang on, and it might have been just as well that he didn't make that catch.
How important is second and long for this BC defense? I mean, it's just a different ball game, and Echeverry knows it. He just feasts off it.
We heard Steve Barano talking to Farhan after the first half, and really, the secondary has held together.
Yeah, really
for
have.
the Lions, in spite of the fact that everyone back there is pretty darn new, except Derek Lewis. Byron Capers has experience, of course, but in reality, he's been a Lion for the second time, only for a short time, less than a week, in fact. Tyrone Taylor deep. McCallum stands inside his 20 on third down, Saskatchewan.
Oh!
A boomer down to the 40.
No yards! No yards!
Lions special teams guys yelling for no yards. No call. 10 yards on the return.
Well, we talked about how the Saskatchewan defense would stop Alfred Jackson, or at least attempt to. There's 3 ways. One-on-one coverage, play zone and get some help, or double team him with 2 guys. This tells you one thing. That 14 says that Richie Hall is confident with his defensive backfield, and he's saying, Eddie Davis, Omar Evans, I'm going to let you just play Alfred Jackson one-on-one. That's confidence in your secondary.
Montana to the near side. On first down, BC, beginning outside the 40. Millington turns the right corner. And didn't get very far left as George White rode him out, number 38, Rookie of the Year for Saskatchewan last year. Outstanding season, leading the CFL with 105 tackles, 38.
Richie Hall, of course, learned under Gary Echeverry, who was in Saskatchewan. Richie Hall was a secondary coach at that time.
Nice to see him get his chance to run the defense, isn't it?
And he's doing a nice job. He's going to mix it up a lot more than Gary Echeverry did. Echeverry loved to live on the edge with the blitz. Richie Hall likes to show you a lot of different looks.
Lions looking at 2nd and 5 now. 3 receivers near side. Allen has trouble with the snap. Allen takes off. First run of the game for Damon Allen. It's a big one. Inside the 30, sliding safely at about the 28.
Sean Gallat's got to be careful. You know, Damon Allen looked like he was going to hook slide, but this is what he brings to the table when he uses his legs. This was a broken play, had trouble with the snap, but watch what happens when he takes off and runs. The whole defense now, what the secondary is doing is they're going, do I stay back or do I come up and try and tackle him, or what do I do? It really puts you in a bind. Richie Hall has not seen this from Damon Allen in the first half. You know he's concerned when Damon Allen starts to run.
A gain of almost 30. Here's Sean Millington. Maybe 7 yards, maybe 8 for Millington around the right side. Well, hang on, it might even be 9. George White over to make the tackle.
See, the other thing it does, Damon Allen is running outside. The defensive ends for Saskatchewan have to stay wide. They have to respect Allen's speed to the outside. And that makes those holes in the middle for Sean Millington and Robert Drummond just a little bit wider.
An easy first down for the Lions as this drive continues with Sean Millington. One of the guys the Roughriders are really missing this year is Mr. Maxey. Demetrius Maxey is on tryout with the Chicago Bears, and he was a huge factor for Saskatchewan at times last season.
Yeah, and then they brought in a guy by the name of Kevin Holmes, who was over 300, but he got hurt early in the season, so Richie Hall's had to try and balance that defensive line and find someone consistent to play inside. They've got Raymond Baylor in there now.
First and 10, inside the 20. Little stutter step for Drummond. Nice run for the Lions. So here's the running game we've been expecting there. Right there, 8 yards for Robert.
Watch the great feet by Robert Drummond. I mean, this is a great little dance right at the line of scrimmage by a power back. Chops the feet, avoids one of the best tacklers in the CFL in George White, gets to the outside and picks up some yards. It's a big, big back with pretty good feet.
2nd and 2. It's Drummond again. Now the spot will be important, but it would appear the Lions will move the chains. Omar Morgan And Shante Peoples in on the tackle. This is more of what we were expecting from the Lions at the outset. A great start to the third quarter for BC.
Well, I love the interview that Farhan did with Steve Barato, because Steve Barato's voice sounded like it was a little raw. Because at halftime, he probably hit a few octaves that he hasn't hit for a while. And it looks like the offense is responding.
From the 5. First and goal. Drummond is halfway there.
See, Drummond got halfway there, but he had his shoulders low, and he drove off the football. Eric Tillman mentioned it at halftime. The guys got to get low up front. They got to get low, and they got to want it. And it looks like Robert Drummond wanted it here. You know, he didn't get in the end zone, but watch how low he comes off the ball. Gets it down, drops those shoulders, and powers his way for a few yards. Over the course of the game, that wears on you defensively.
Now second and goal to go, 2-yard line. First half rushing for the Lions, 40 yards. This drive, 61. It was simple. It was right there in your keys to success at the start of the game.
It cost Steve Barato his voice, but it looks like it's working.
Second and goal. Lions are at the Saskatchewan 2. Give it to the big guy. Touchdown. Robert Drummond got across the line, not by very much.
Well, it was very, very close. There was no discussion by the officials. The arms went up in the air immediately.
All you have to do is break the plane. He did that. But he was fired back immediately by the Saskatchewan defense.
Well, they really rallied to it. Drummond does a nice job at the point of attack, but takes that ball, he'll bounce to his left, and right here is where he's going to meet contact, and that ball just barely crosses the plane. But again, the officials were right on the spot. They had the best view right along that line, and they'll give Drummond the touchdown.
Well, there was nice extra effort by Drummond there after he took the hit. Great start for the BC Lions in the second half. Finally, a little work for this guy who heads for the sky as the Lions get to the Saskatchewan end zone. Great start to the third quarter for the BC Lions, who ran all the way to the Saskatchewan end zone. 8 plays, 62 yards. Drummond into the end zone.
All 8 plays, running plays.
And David Allen had a 29-yard run to set the whole thing up. Short kick. Darren Davis. Riders begin near the 43. Mike Fletcher made the tackle there. Farhan.
Thanks, John. An injury report from the Riders bench. Slot back Dimitris Bendrosh will not be back in the second half. He injured his collarbone when he returned a missed Matt Kellett field goal late in the first half. I spoke to the trainers, and they said it's not a break or a separation, merely a bruise, but it's too difficult for him, too painful for him to continue to play.
And here's what cost the Saskatchewan Roughriders the services of Bendross. A little piling on there on the field goal return.
Yeah, Danny Barrett was real upset with Jamie Terrace for that hit on Bendross. He thought he was down, and that's cost the head coach a pretty good player.
And there's another injured Saskatchewan Roughrider down near the 40-yard line. That's the delay here at BC Place. Quick timeout here. The Lions are right back in this, trailing by 2.
This program is brought to you in part by AT&T Canada.
Welcome back to the stadium at BC Place. An injured Roughrider off to the sidelines and apparently okay. Here's Davis Sanchez on his way to the Chargers camp tomorrow. Nervous?
Excited.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Davis Sanchez, all-star corner with the Montreal Alouettes a year ago, and on his way down to San Diego Chargers. I know you're pumped up. You had a good mini camp.
Things went really well, and I'm really excited to get camp started.
What has Mike Riley said to you about your opportunity to make the lineup down there?
I mean, since day one I got there, they told me right in the mix and give me an opportunity to make the ball club.
You got the Canadian contingent down there.
Yeah, we
Doug
do.
Flutie, Dave Dickinson.
Well, those are honorary Canadians. Davis is a real Canadian.
Well, no question.
And your career obviously inspired by another great defensive back who grew up in Vancouver when you were a kid.
Now, hang on, I got some cash here, Davis. I'm telling you, I know it's only Canadian money and you need American money, but say something nice here and you get a little,
Yeah, I used to watch Glenn play when I was, I think, 2 or 3.
Oh, no, there you go.
Hang with us here for a second. We'll watch this Rough Rider drive. Saskatchewan trying to respond to that BC touchdown with a run by Darren Davis.
You know, Davis, there's one thing that Mike Riley told me when I was down there for that mini camp, and he was saying that if you can cover up in the Canadian Football League, you can cover down there. How did you find the transition to go down to the smaller field?
I agree with what he said. I think the field's so big out here in the CFL. If you're a cornerback, that's the best training you can get is to be in this league. So it prepared me really well.
Now, did I understand this right? There's 6 corners down there. 5 are going to make the roster. Is that about?
There's probably about 8 corners down there. 5 or 6 will make it.
Okay. That's pretty good. Pretty good numbers.
Graves missing on 2nd and 4. You like the odds?
I like the odds. I try not to worry about the numbers aspect. I just go out there and play every day and try to make plays. And that will keep me down there. Making plays it's what got me there, and that's what will keep me there.
Now, lots of confidence about this football team this year. Mike Shanahan from the Broncos the other day was suggesting that San Diego was a team that was going to win 10 or 12 games this year, and that's quite a turnaround from a year ago.
Well, anyone that always asks me that, say about the upcoming season, I tell them will definitely be better than last year. So
well, and that's an easy prediction, is it
hey,
not?
The San Diego Chargers, though, are CFL South, okay? That's what we're just going to call them, because I know you got a lot of fans up here in Canada now that are going to be following the Chargers all season long, and especially one game I'm looking forward to is that late in October when Buffalo's in town in San Diego.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting. There's a whole lot of Buffalo guys in San Diego now, so it's going to be interesting. They're already talking about it.
Here's McCallum to kick just inside Saskatchewan territory. The charge was on. He gets it away. Taylor waits at the BC2. Nice little scene here. Well, listen, Davis, we want to wish you all the best of luck, and we're going to be watching you down there because you thrilled us when you played for the Alouettes.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, John.
Very much so, and I know you're still a big fan of Canadian football. You want to get it down there? I'll send you some tapes.
Please do. Please send me some tapes, or I'll get a satellite dish or something. I love the CFL game, and I've enjoyed watching it for the few weeks I've been home here, and hopefully I can get some down there.
Hey, your Alouettes are doing pretty good again.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Early prediction for the Grey Cup in Montreal. I have to go with my guys, Alouettes. Back there in Montreal, what's up, fellas?
Okay, man. Hey, good job and good luck down in San Diego, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Another graduate from the Glenn Suter Safety School, Davis Sanchez. A little shovel pass that didn't quite work. It'll go as an incompletion down there. Great guy, and we do wish him a lot of luck down there, Glenn.
Absolutely, and I'm really looking forward to actually watching the San Diego Chargers. I mean, Mike Riley's down there, and he really welcomed us from TSN with open arms when I went to the mini camp, and of course Doug Flutie, Dave Dickinson, and Davis Sanchez. It's going to be fun to watch that team improve this year. They've always had a pretty good defense in San Diego.
It was the offense that was a little bit.
Yeah, who's that quarterback
in the last couple of years?
Is that the Ryan Leaf that sort of?
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, good.
2nd and 10. Uh-oh, Damon Allen in trouble. He escapes. He'll have the first down. Look at that smooth stride as Allen slides to the 35. The Roughriders are going to have to respond to the Lions' run.
No question. Concern from Richie Hall when Damon Allen starts doing this. Coming into this game, he had just 5 yards rushing in 2 games. Now he's looking to run. And you mentioned it, John, and I think it's a great way to describe it. Damon Allen is so smooth when he runs the football. Look at the concern on the defensive coordinator's face now.
And he doesn't even know that this is the number on Allen. 4 carries, 51 yards. He might suspect that this one is working well, too. The running game from the backfield.
Yeah, and it's coming back, though. There's a holding on the offensive line, which is going to give Richie Hall a chance as defense. But you see him making notes down there. He was on the phone earlier talking to the sideline. And this is a team that in the past has struggled against the run. Last year, ranked last in the CFL. This year, coming into this one, 7th. So they had to shore up that run defense. And that's why the defensive coordinator, Mr. Hall, is a little concerned at this point.
Yeah, Ronald Williams had a big game. So did Mark Nora against Saskatchewan. They were a little concerned about the run stop up front. Penalty was holding against the Lions. So it'll be 1st and 20. Allen gets it out for Drummond. slowed initially and finally brought down as Drummond fought for an extra 6 yards after breaking one tackle. Sean Gallant finally bringing him down.
Well, a definite passing situation for Damon Allen, although Sean Millington has made a career out of that little slip screen that he catches. I don't think the ball was set properly before Allen wanted it. The officials hadn't even blown it in yet.
This will be 2nd and 14. The Lions back at the BC 30.
Saskatchewan's coming. Showing blitz and coming.
Here's the Rider blitz, and Allen is wrapped up in it.
Oh, man.
Almost escaped after the initial hit.
Eddie Davis didn't make any. There was no surprise there. Richie Hall just said, hey, let's just send the house at them. They're 2nd and 14.
You see Richie just marking down a little check mark. The blitz worked there.
Yeah, and the blitz coming from Eddie Davis in the secondary. That'll be to the right of Damon Allen. See him looking to his left. He doesn't know that number 29 is bearing down. Now, I don't know how he made a miss. But it didn't matter anyway because Collins was there.
Lucky to duck away from bigger trouble there. So Kellett is in, standing back at the BC 6. The Prestons are back for Saskatchewan near the 50.
Rock and roll's alive and well in Saskatchewan.
And it's not the 50s anymore. Out to midfield, Riders will start with good position here on a 39-yard punt and a 4-yard return. The Lions have been solid in the second half. The Riders cling to a 2-point lead. Play this song and there's always enthusiasm in the ball yard.
YMCA, but they're not spelling the word. They were just rolling.
First and 10, Rough Riders right at midfield. Saskatchewan trying to respond to the BC touchdown, only scoring here in the third quarter. Graves with time, and he overthrew his targets. Danny Barrett.
His target had a blanket wrapped around him. Marsh was the target. Bo Lewis was the blanket.
Fans, be sure not to miss the stars of ECCW main event. Sabu versus Steve Carino plus Tony Casina versus Jazz Beckett at ECCW's biggest show of the year next Saturday.
So Graves misses there, and he's 2 for his last 7. Second down. He has roll Preston. He'll be short of the first down, coming up a couple shy. Stopped by Cedric Curry, number 3. And Ryan Doak also over from his safety spot. So 2 and out, Saskatchewan. Third down. McCallum is in. And Tyrone Taylor drops back. Lions will start from deep in their own zone without a solid return from this guy.
He's been close on a couple.
Close to breaking them. Taylor near the 10. Markers are down, so the Lions will get a little extra out of this. Saskatchewan covering a little bit too closely. 38-yard punt, 3 on the return. Riders next game against the Argonauts Saturday night, a week from tonight. Ticket information available there.
And we'll be there.
Friday, BC at Calgary, and then the Saturday night game, Argos and the Rough Riders, as Pinball Clemens tries to turn things around after an 0-3 start.
Big no yards penalty now, and the Lions get decent field position because that's the 15-yard version. There's a 5-yard version and a 15-yard version, and the 5-yard version is the bounce back.
They would have been pinned a lot deeper than this. As a result, they're just shy of the 23. Net 24 for Saskatchewan on the play with the punt and the penalty. Allen keeps it on the ground. Robert Drummond, number 29. He's been the workhorse so far. Coming in, he was only averaging 3 yards a carry, but it'll be better after tonight as he ran into George White there.
Yeah, George White and the rest of those Lion linebackers rallying to the tackle. Very quick to get to Drummond, but it's been Damon Allen's running ability that has thrown him off a little bit. That running game is starting to get on track for the BC Lions.
Well, we talked about it early in the third quarter, and it continues to go well. There's Alfred Jackson, and he'll be right there at the first down marker with a nice pattern. On the out.
First down, Lions on the roll.
You know, a running game improvement can also help this. Watch the defensive linemen up here have to stand up and look to see if Damon's going to run the football. See him stand up, they hesitate for a second, so Allen has lots of time to throw it out there. When you get that running game going a little bit, now you make the defensive line respect it. You make them look back there to check for the running game, and that gives your quarterback more time to throw. It all works together.
Little play action fake from Allen. He's got Jackson over the middle. A huge hit on Jackson by Sean Gallant. But he held on to the ball. Huge first down for BC.
Again, play action from Damon Allen. And here comes the play action to Robert Drummond right this side. Now watch the steamboat. One steamboat, two. Well, that's slow motion, but he's got tons of time back there to throw this one. And there's Alfred Jackson. You're right. He does hang on after a pretty good hit by Gallant.
Nifty 16-yard gain. Lions at the 50. Allen's submarine there, and there's a penalty marker coming down.
I think the Riders have the football, and it depends on whether or not there was a penalty against him. Shante Peoples pulled it right out of Allen's hands. At least it looked like he was involved, or Allen dropped it on his own, but Peoples came up with it. Take a look, it's right up the middle. Shante Peoples comes off the edge. Millington can't get to him. And that right arm pulls the ball out, and then it's Peoples who scoops it up. There's that right arm getting it out of there. The ball hits the ground. It's stripped out of Allen's hands, and Peoples just falls right on it. Big turnover for Saskatchewan at this point in the game.
Go, Keith!
Huge play for Shante Peoples. As he just reached in and dug it out of Damon Allen's hand. So on the turnover, the Riders are set up at the 45. Graves had to bring it down, looks to escape. Trying to outrun Fletcher, and he can't do that. Fletcher got to him and forced him out.
Mike Fletcher was everything on that play. I mean, this is a guy who showed, watch Fletcher. First of all, he's going to drop, and he's going to hit Zarka, who's his receiver that he's supposed to cover. Watch this. Okay, he drops. He sees Zarka. That's his man. That's who Marvin Graves wants to throw to. He comes up and tackles him right there. Now he gets up, and he runs down Marvin Graves after the play is over. I mean, that's everything from your linebacker right there.
The gain is 1. This is 2nd and 9. Saskatchewan at the Lions 44. Quick out for Marsh. And that play is whistled out. It's skipped to Curtis Marsh.
Yeah, and I don't think he had a whole lot of room to run anyway. I don't think he has, unless he can beat 4 or 5 Lion tacklers, one of them being Mike Fletcher, who he's just flying around right now.
Yeah, they were out there waiting, no doubt about it.
I don't think he had enough for the first, although the field goal opportunity changes for Paul McCallum.
Well, had he been able to pick up 4 or 5 yards, or possibly 6, it would have gotten McCallum a little closer. Marsh only has 2 receptions tonight.
Now we've talked a little bit about David Benefield and Herman Smith playing hurt, and Benefield is a guy that's slow to get up right now while McCallum waits for this field goal. Now Don Blair is the holder for BC, and he had some problems in the first half. And now Paul McCallum has a new holder, and that's the backup quarterback Kevin Glenn. Dylan Ching was the holder for game 1 and 2. He was injured. Dylan Ching is not dressed, and so it's going to be Glenn. Now that throws things off for your kicker, especially on long ones. And these kickers can be fragile guys.
Oh, yes.
And I'm talking more psychologically than anything. And you know, you don't want to mess with their karma or anything like that.
Well, Glenn's got one part of it right. Kevin Glenn is at least out there to hold. He showed up for this field goal attempt.
He's on the field.
It'll be a long one. Spotted at the 51. McCallum will not have enough leg to get it there. And Fletcher has it on the run.
You know, I'm starting to like this guy. I mean, Mike Fletcher is all everything for this team. Tackling everybody, and then, hey, I'll return a field goal too. It doesn't go in.
It was a long drive for Paul McCallum. He misses from 51. It's still a 2-point game as we head to quarter 4.
Wendy's, CFL live at the quarter.
So for the second straight week, the Saskatchewan Roughriders are involved in a low-scoring, very tight ball game here. Couldn't take advantage of that turnover. The Lions came out looking very good with that touchdown in the third quarter, didn't they, Chris?
You know, I don't know what Steve Barato said at halftime, but that first series for the BC Lions, they came out and it was basic football. For the offensive line, zone step right, zone step left, power football, and all the way down the field, went in and scored some points. But then the very next play of the next series, what do they run? A shovel pass. That's a finesse play. It kind of took that edge. What was created that first series was not carried off on the second series because they changed their play calling away from physically attacking to trying to be deceptive. And I think that was a mistake, man.
Well, that was one play, Chris.
I know, but it was a mistake.
But that offensive line has taken control, and they are establishing a new line of scrimmage, and that's good news because you got to use Sean Millington and Robert Drummond, and then you add Damon Allen in the mix. At 37 years old, this guy still can give defenses fits. I know Richie Holland's pulling off his headsets up there in the box saying, I can't stop this. And you know what? Nobody has been able to do ever since Damon's been in the league, and if he continues to do that, it's going to give Saskatchewan a lot of problems.
Yeah, he will. And a quick mention of Jason Krault, the deep snapper at BC. Last week, his struggles were well documented. 3 bad snaps. Yet he comes out tonight, the first 3 quarters, he's played flawless football. It shows great mental toughness. It says something about Steve Barato for sticking with him. I tell you what, I'm not sure I would have had the courage to put the young man back out there, but this is how young players grow up. Credit the coaching staff and credit him for doing a heck of a job these first 3 quarters.
As Adam Rita points out, they stick with him because he can handle pressure. This is a guy who served with the Canadian forces in Bosnia. Football is not pressure to this guy. That's why they stick with him. Next game up for us is going to be obviously next week, and it's going to be Wendy's Friday Night Football featuring these very BC Lions in Calgary to take on the 0-3 Stampeders. Back for fourth quarter action in Vancouver.
Ready for the fourth quarter here at BC Place. The numbers after 3 look rather interesting.
See, when that improves, that improves. Because Saskatchewan really had a really lopsided in time of possession. But in that third quarter, the Lions had close to 10 of the 15 minutes in the quarter. And that's because of the running game.
And Damon ran a couple of times for big gains at critical times. See what the Lions do here. Beginning inside the 20. They'll keep it on the ground again with Sean Millington. McCallum over to make the stop.
See, when Damon Allen's running, it puts something in the defensive end's minds that they can't get out. Look at this. Shante Peoples is right here. Now, if Damon Allen can run, he's got to respect it and go upfield. Watch what he does. He goes upfield, and what he does is he opens the gate. See that? He respects Allen. He opens the gate, and here comes Sean Millington. Now you got the defensive ends in a bind.
And this is what worked for the Lions' touchdown. They ran it all the way up the field. Here's Damon Allen. Allen goes down. He'll have another BC first down. So 16 for Millington, 13 for Damon Allen, and they're running through the Saskatchewan defense.
All right, now look at this. You go back on the next play, and Shante Peoples, this time he shoots down to Millington, and Allen gets the corner on him. You know, and that's a very difficult position to be in when you're stretching both the outside of the field and you're pounding it up in the middle effectively.
What it is a triple threat to the BC Lions when they get it working correctly. And last week we watched only 12 rushes for Drummond and Millington between them for 44 yards. They've got a lot more than that so far here tonight. Timeout for an injury at BC Place. You're watching Wendy's CFL Live. Back on CFL Live, and tomorrow we look forward to the British Open.
No, this is a little home video. I brought you a little home video from a game in the summer.
Well, it looks grainy enough to be a home video.
That was my shot. Okay, that wasn't me. That was
Greg Owen makes the shot there, 2 back with a double eagle. So there are the leaders. He's at 4 under, and Duval and Woosnam and Langer lead the way. Brett Anderson head down and around the corner.
Brett Anderson looked like he lost the handle of the ball for a second, had to adjust and then keep running. The injury to the Saskatchewan defense was Omar Evans, who will have to go off the field for 3 plays, and that's a huge loss to the defense secondary. And Omar Evans has really been playing well.
Here's Farhan.
It's like a right ankle sprain for Omar Evans. I spoke to the trainer. They said they're going to retape the injury and try it again, and they need him in there to go against Alfred Jackson.
Yeah, well, that's been the matchup. Omar Evans has played very well all game long against Alfred Jackson, and we showed you the graphic earlier. The 3 ways to beat Jackson. Saskatchewan has decided to try and match up Evans in a one-on-one battle with them, and now Evans is out of the game.
And he was having an excellent evening. Lions will have a first down at the Saskatchewan 51, trailing by just 2 points. It was all Saskatchewan offensively in the first half. The Lions have looked very solid along the ground, in particular in the third quarter.
Yeah, they have. And now the guy that's going to have to replace Evans is going to be Jason Mallett, who's really the backup safety.
Nice fake by Allen, but a holding penalty likely coming against BC. As markers go down and Allen misses Montana.
Jason Mallett cold out of Carleton coming onto the field for Omar Evans, and Alfred Jackson took him deep.
25. First down repeated.
They got Sean Millington that time.
And see, Damon Allen dropped way back. Now, the play didn't work for him, but this is what they wanted. This is what the BC Lions wanted to do, is go after that matchup, and that's with Alfred Jackson one-on-one on the newcomer. That's just a straight post and saying, hey, Jason, let's see if you can cover me. That's a pretty good job.
Here are the numbers, Glenn, on first down so far, 15-13 BC. But Saskatchewan had a 12-2 advantage in an earlier stage this evening. Shotgun for Allen, 1st and 20, looks long, and missed by about 5 yards trying to get to Montana. Coverage by Jason Mallett.
Well, they're going right after Jason Mallett, see if he can hold up, and you know what? 2 plays in a row, he's been stride for stride. So you got to give Jason Mallett, that is not easy. Jason Mallett's been, you know, a little special teams work, but other than that, he's been a spectator. He comes on the field and goes deep back to back. Now he's a little tired. But they go after him for a 3rd time in a row. He's going to line up there on Montana again.
Blair to the near side. Alfred Jackson flanks wide to the far side of the field. 2nd and 20. Allen looks for Jackson, and he missed him out of bounds.
They ran out of room up there.
And a photographer is injured down there. That's one of our guys. Up and okay, tough guy.
All right, that's toughness. Alfred Jackson just ran out of room there. He's working on Omar Morgan. And see the cable guy there, he had his man. He was well out of the way. He forgot to tell his buddy, though.
One of the shooters for the Jumbotron here at BC Place, shaken up by Alfred Jackson.
Nah, he's back in the game.
Take one play off, and he'll have some shots up there shortly. Roll Preston. Oh, lost the ball, got it back. Somehow he just juggled the football. Luckily, he got it back because there were Lions all around. It's close at BC Place in the final quarter. Tonight's game story from BC Place brought to you by SportCheck.ca, Canada's choice for sporting goods.
Well, first of all, 118 of those rushing yards for the Lions have come in the third and a bit of the fourth quarter. They only had 40 in the first half. Graves, a couple interceptions. Kellett's going to talk about his misses with his holder. And Demetrius Bendros could continue to be a problem for the Riders in this game.
Critical series for Saskatchewan now with just a 2-point lead, beginning deep inside of Rider territory with a run to Darren Davis for 5 yards.
Yeah, 5's not bad, though.
No, 5's good.
Because remember, Gary Etcheberry is Mr. Second and Long, defensive coordinator for the Lions. Second and medium now. Now the ball goes over to the offense. Advantage offense now in this situation. So the chess game continues.
And Mr. Etcheberry knows quite a bit about the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Graves on 2nd and 5. Wrapped up, and there's nowhere to go. Markers fly near the 20.
And a pretty valiant
Herman
effort.
Smith.
Very valiant effort between Herman Smith and David Benefield tonight, both playing injured. When your veterans do that, it really inspires the entire team. Herman Smith's got a knee brace on, something he hasn't played with. David Benefield has the ankle. See that brace on his left knee.
54. Penalties declined. It's third down.
Jeremy O'Day. Bennett caught here.
That's Herman Smith over here to the right.
Not much else he could do to try and save the quarterback, was there?
Well, that's a great effort, though. I mean, he gets him the second crack at it, but real good rush on O'Day. Playing on one wheel.
Tyrone Taylor deep for BC, but not that deep. He's out near midfield. McCallum got a bit of a rush. Taylor lost yards on the return. Markers come down.
Well, he didn't have a return set up, and he gets up limping because the Lions were going with the complete rush on the punter, and when you do that, your punt returner doesn't have much blocking help.
Sean Millington, a big part of the Lions' success in the second half. 66 yards.
Illegal block. BC 93. First down, BC.
That's Ian Williams, number 93. So the Lions are forced back to the 40. Pretty good ball game. You get the feeling the Riders are going to be involved in a few low-scoring affairs this year. Lost by 2 last week to the Eskimos in Edmonton and scored 11 points. Ryan Thelwell flanks to the near side. Millington wrapped up for a gain of maybe 2. It looked like he'd lose yardage there, Glenn.
With second effort, he picked up maybe
a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but Jason Mallett's still in the game in the secondary, and that time he was matched up on Alfred Jackson. Now, you know, the Lions don't necessarily want to abandon their running game just to go after one player. And by the way, Jason Mallett's done a pretty nice job in his coverage responsibility. But you still think they've got to be thinking about trying to test him.
Call it a gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Alfred Jackson will be matched up, and Jason Mallett right here.
Allen will put it up, or will he? Well, he had to surrender because the Riders closed that hole rather quickly, and Shante Peoples led the charge. George White was also in the area.
We mentioned earlier that one of the problems for the BC Lions last week was Jason Krause snapping on punch situations. He was under a bunch of pressure this week. He worked on it. He has not been a long snapper in his entire career, and that includes college football or high school. He's been working hard at it, and you know what? He's been perfect in this game tonight.
Uh-oh.
Does that mean I jinxed him? Is that what you're saying?
Well, 3 sailed over the kicker's head last week. It was a very tough week. But as you say, he's the 3rd stringer and hadn't had a whole pile of experience. We're talking of Jason Kraut. The long snaps have been on the money tonight. 3 went over Mallett's head last week, or Kellett's head last week.
Yeah, and most of the time, the snapper's getting hammered.
Charge was straight up the middle. Here's Roll Preston taking it on the run. Found a seam. Nice return. Cooking for Preston. Can he go all the way? Kellett forced him out. Far side. A superb return for Roll Preston. Great field position for the Riders when we return. In Saskatchewan, rock and roll is here to stay. Great play by the Twins.
Well, it really is. Roll's the guy who's going to run with a football. That's Jason Kraut. But look at this right here. That's his brother, Rock Preston, taking out 2 BC Lions. And that gives brother Roll a chance to get rolling.
For a 37-yard return and a +2 on the exchange for Saskatchewan. The punt traveled 35. Kellett got over to force. Roll Preston out. Saskatchewan set up at the BC 40. Darren Davis, solid run inside. He's better than 6. Barron Simpson, the Lion middle linebacker, made the stop.
Well, both defenses bending a little bit. Not a whole lot, not many big plays given up by either team. I'm talking about those big deep bombs down the field.
Yeah, and some solid special teams work going both ways. Davis picked up 6. This is 2nd and 4. Just over 7 minutes to play in the final quarter of BC plays. Chris Zarka hangs on, and he'll be, well, close, but we'll wait for the spot on this one as Zarka just powered his way through.
The Courage for Kids Foundation works with you and carries your line CFL football tickets to
Just 2 catches for this guy so far tonight. No big plays.
Yeah, and Curtis Marsh, you know he was licking his chops coming in here because a lot of changes in that Lions secondary. We talked about that, but he hasn't been able to take advantage of it.
Marsh averaged 155 yards in 3 games against BC last year, so he had some huge nights.
Of course, this is a different secondary he's facing now.
Yeah, these guys are all brand new.
It's been 3 different ones in 3 different games for the Lions, and they're holding their own.
Still a solid start to the season for Marsh.
And I love him. He's in there talking to Rock Preston and saying, I'm open. But, receivers are like 7-Eleven. They're always open.
You've never used that one before?
Okay, maybe just once.
From the 29, Saskatchewan does have the first down. Rock Preston is the wide receiver to the near side. Graves from the shotgun. There's the touchdown toss. Zarka couldn't hang on. Oh, what a throw.
It was right on the money. I mean, that's your fullback you're asking to make a diving catch down the field. But I love what Marvin Graves does to look off safety Mike Crum and even pump fake it and then go back down the middle. When he did that, he held Crum to the wide side of the field. And Byron Capers is thinking it's going outside. Crum can't get there. But you're asking your fullback to make a diving catch down the middle.
Big league play by Marvin Graves. And an almost for Chris Zarka. So it's 2nd and 10. Close ball game at BC Place. Early movements. There were players with happy feet all over the place down there. 6:25 on the stadium clock here to go. And the Riders lead the Lions 9-7.
Saskatchewan 67. 2nd down repeated.
Yeah, and that's the 2nd time that has happened to Saskatchewan in this game where they've been in a 2nd down situation and a penalty that they shouldn't have has pushed them back. Now they're 2nd and 15. Changes things, and Gary Etcheverry is coming with pressure.
So a little excitement here. As the Lions face a huge stop against Saskatchewan on 2nd and 15. Watch Marsh. Graves. Oh! The catch is made by Rock Preston, and a huge first down for Saskatchewan.
Well,
Mike Fletcher got back in coverage there, Glenn.
This play is set up because Marvin Graves has time to throw the football. He wants Curtis Marsh, who is out here to the right of the screen, but Marsh is covered initially. He has time, though, to step in that pocket and find the secondary receiver, Rock Preston, coming from the opposite side of the field. Look at Curtis Marsh, number 88. Covered pretty well by Byron Capers. He lets him go in the zone, and the deep guy picks him up. He's covered. But because Graves has time, he can go to number 2.
21 yards to set the Riders up inside the 15. And Zarka has 5 more for Saskatchewan on this drive. Noah Cantor makes the stop.
Now you give this drive and this play to that offensive line for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Your quarterback has time to go to the backside receiver, and Rock Preston came up with a pretty tough catch. But when he has time to go backside, your big boys up front are doing their job.
Lion fans know this is a huge play. You can hear that in the background. 2nd and 5. Saskatchewan inside the 10 at the PCH. Graves touchdown toss. Great defensive play. Byron Capers, the ex-Argo, comes up with it. And Saskatchewan will have to settle for 3.
Capers got beat to the inside, which is a sin against a defensive back, but he made up with it with athletic ability. Little inside move here, and Marsh is open, but watch the quickness of Byron Capers. And if he had a confidence problem, plays like that will bring that confidence back in a hurry.
Talked about the matchup at the outset. A little bit of a mismatch coming in, one would think.
Well, I'll give this one to Capers.
I would say
so far
he has held his own. So the Lions defense bends but doesn't break. Saskatchewan adds 3 instead of 7. And we're in for a superb finish at BC Place.
They rallied. The Lions secondary have rallied. You know, they haven't played with Mike Crum at safety all year. He's come in the game. Byron Capers comes over in his first game, has made some big plays, and Bo Lewis has kind of been the anchor for him. He's made some big plays inside as well, and you know, this is a team in the secondary, you have to be together. You're 5 guys that have to be together on every play, and that takes time, and they've done it in a hurry. He's talking about 1 week of practice. Capers looks a little bit shaken up after that one.
Play of the night for BC. Made by Byron Capers. Lions get it back. First down beginning at the 35 after the Saskatchewan field goal. It's a 5-point game. Flags down as Millington took off and then stumbled. We'll check out the infraction.
The Lions will look at this play and they'll say it had so much potential. Holding call, bring it back, and
holding. BC 61. First down repeated.
That's on the center, or I should say the left guard, Steve Harden.
But it was a great call against the defense they were facing, which was a little bit of a blitz from Travis Smith, the linebacker for Saskatchewan. They dumped that screen off, and now with the holding call are looking at 1st and 20.
Less than 4 minutes to play. The Lions are down by 5 at 12-7. Shotgun. Allen. And that was a one-hopper for Don Blair.
Well, if Damon Allen can hold on to the ball for 1 more second, he had Danny Montana wide open down the sideline. A bit of a bust by Omar Morgan in the secondary. He left Montana go deep down the sideline, but Damon Allen had already released the football.
Now 2nd and 20. Allen with less than 100 passing. Big play. Thelwell stretched out and couldn't bring it home. Ryan Thelwell. but Allen was a little off the target.
It was, and Thelwell had inside position. He was open on the play coming to the left of your screen. Damon Allen just had to step up in there and threw that one a little short. You can see that Thelwell had inside position there on Ladolfius McCalla. Couldn't reach it, and that was right at the first down marker.
So Kellen is in. And Roel Preston awaits. Back near the Saskatchewan 45. Preston with a great return last time. A one-hopper at the 50. Montana forced him out. The punt was 36. The return was 2, but more importantly for the Roughriders, first down very close to midfield. Great day ahead on TSN. Tomorrow, final round of the British Open begins at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. 4 tied for the top, including David Duval, who's threatening to capture the British Open title. And following that, if he does, he'll be at Angus Glen in Markham, Ontario for the TELUS Skins game on TSN Monday morning at 9 a.m. It's Weir, Duval, Singh, and Garcia for the TELUS Skins game. And we'll have coverage of that beginning on Monday. Lots of cash on the line. Lots of great golf ahead on TSN tomorrow and Monday. Darren Davis straight ahead. Gotta like the way this guy protects the football.
Well, and it's very important that he does now, too, with 2:33 left in the game. Protect the football, keep it on the ground, and kill the rest of the clock.
And he's a breakaway threat, too. 18 carries coming into the game, equals 85 yards, and that was not enough to keep the Riders happy. He has 10 tonight. Second down, it's Davis again.
I don't know.
I don't think he got it.
Going to be a whole yard short, I think.
2:09 to go. And a 5-point difference between the Roughriders and the Lions.
Baron Simpson does a pretty nice job for the BC defense. Newcomer in the middle linebacking spot, and he just knifes right in there and puts the stop on Darren Davis. Pretty good quickness to fill the hole.
Well, it's third down and a yard to go, and the middle linebacker gets it done. Fletcher is deep. And Tyrone Taylor. McCallum standing at his 45. Special teams coverage will be very important for the Riders here.
Taking as much time off the clock as they can.
And McCallum got it under 2 minutes, but he doesn't get a deep kick away. The bounce may help. This is Fletcher inside the 10. He's surrounded and wrapped up. So the Lions will have to drive a long way back from the 15. Damon Allen will have to make some plays. We've seen him do it before. He's got a pile of time on the clock without question.
And he has some talent in that receiving core, especially in Alfred Jackson. But you don't have to panic just yet. 140's lots of time. Keep that running game involved. Keep Millington involved.
Barrado really in charge of the BC Lions offense and was taking the heat himself for a struggle last week against the Tiger Cats in Hamilton. First down, Allen. And he rifles one to Thelwell. Huge first down, BC. Out at the 35. Travis Smith was all the way back in coverage on Thelwell, who makes a huge catch.
And Ladolfius McCalla was coming across as well, and he had his hand on the jersey. Thelwell could have complained about a pass interference call as well.
21 yards. Thelwell made plays in the overtime game against the Eskimos 2 weeks ago. Another first down, and here's Brett Anderson, and that's another BC Lion first down.
Saskatchewan electing to go with the blitz. They come with the blitz from the secondary, and Eddie Davis and Sean Gallant, the safety, is up there, but Damon Allen, the veteran, calm, cool, and collective, finds the open man over the middle.
Remember, the BC Lions need a touchdown to win, with Saskatchewan holding on to a precarious 12-7 lead. Out to the 52, Lions in the hurry up. Allen is wrapped up and thrown down. It was Collins coming in from his defensive end spot, number 47.
Collins is right here, going to come right up the field. And he's the guy that is right in the face of Damon Allen. Craig Henderson can't contain Collins.
That was a huge play. It's a loss of 10 yards. 2nd and 20 facing Allen now. Just over a minute to go. Allen fired it in. No catch. No catch at the 50 by Brett Anderson, who made one fine grab on this drive.
Well, that's a big drop because it would have put the Lions in third and 10. Third and 10 in a gambling situation is a lot different
than third and 20.
And Steve Barado's being booed for sending the punt team on with 56 seconds left. But at third and 20, it's basically Hail Mary time.
Even with Damon Allen. So now you look at 56 seconds on the clock unofficially here at BC Place. And there's no fake at third and 20, is there?
No.
Kellen hammers this one. Preston back to the 20. This is Royal Preston heading out of bounds. 48 seconds to go. Now, the Lions are counting on the defense to get the ball back, but it's a little bit tough right now. 2-0, they can get it back, but Saskatchewan will take time off the clock here.
That's why you're the head coach. I mean, Steve Barado is the GOAT, or he's the hero and the genius. If he can get his defense to hold this team to 2-0 now, they're going to have not only the ball back, but decent field position.
There's the play of the night right now.
Aaron
when you
Collins.
look at it, Aaron Collins, the sack.
Yeah, you got it right on. Aaron Collins, Damon Allen had a little drive going, coming back, and Collins gets him in 2nd and 20.
Less than a minute. What a nice run. That's a killer. Darren Davis. Ryan Doak. So Davis is out near the 30, and he'll move the chains with a 10-yard run off right tackle.
Andrew Green and Gene Mikowski open big holes on that side of the line, and when they do, Darren Davis rips off a big gain. Can you run the ball when the other team knows you have to run the ball?
Well, it's time off the clock now, too. You don't want to make any errors. You don't want to put it up in a dangerous passing situation with this little time remaining. And the Riders are actually deep in their own zone. Lions made the tackle there.
Lions will call a timeout now with 20 seconds left. Got him in 2nd and 8. Steve Barado basically is counting on one play here, an incompletion. That's what he's counting on. Get the football back. Possibly 2 plays left on the clock.
Now, do you want to think about that punting situation on 3rd and 20 with a little more time going? Is that the better time to put the Hail Mary up?
I'm telling you, I think it's a good decision by Steve Barado. 56 seconds left.
At that point.
He punts it. If he holds them to 2-0, he gets a chance. I don't think there's a 3rd and 20 play that's going to happen for him.
Well, the keys to tonight's game, we said bombs away. The Lions secondary was vulnerable for Saskatchewan and didn't play badly in a lot of ways.
They were pretty methodical, Saskatchewan, offensively. Lions started to run the ball in the second half.
Well, 20 seconds on the clock, and Graves is going down here. Winner tonight, and Saskatchewan very definitely in the driver's seat there. Moves into a tie with the Eskimos for top spot in the West at 2-1.
Good win by Danny Barrett. I mean, now with 18 seconds left, 20 seconds to get the ball off, Saskatchewan can kill the time.
Yeah, I think they can wrap it up here. And it wasn't a dominating display by the Roughriders with zeros on the clock now in Saskatchewan. Lynching win number 2, 2 wins in 3 weeks for Danny Barrett. And I really have to give Marvin Graves a lot of credit for this win for Saskatchewan. He called a real nice game, was cool, and he was patient out there.
Well, yeah, they took away Curtis Marsh, and he went to some other other weapons, which was Darren Davis.
Riders proved they can run. BC Lions plane ran out of time. Final here, Riders over the Lions, 12-7.
Wendy's CFL Live on TSN is brought to you in part by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL, and by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
Hi again, everybody. Welcome back inside the CFL Live studio. Dave Randorf with you one more time with Eric Tillman, Matt Dunnigan, and Chris Schultz. At the beginning of last season, the Saskatchewan Roughriders cleaned house. They brought in a new general manager in Roy Shivers. They brought in a rookie head coach in Danny Barrett, and they promised to restore Rider pride. They only won 5 games last season. The question was, how much progress did they make? They won their opener this season, and now they have their second win of the season on the road in BC. 12-7. The Riders doing what they have to do, basically, just to get it done. Sure, they're not lighting up the scoreboard, Eric Tillman, but they are 2-1.
Yeah, and that's all that matters. I mean, you look at this win, this is a building block for the future. You go on the road, you beat the defending Grey Cup champions, you're 2-1 suddenly. You've got Toronto coming in next week to Taylor Field with a real chance to be 3-1. It was a complete team effort on both sides of the ball. And if you're a Saskatchewan Roughrider fan, you got to be excited about this one, Matty.
You got to be excited, Eric, because they're winning the close games.
Yeah,
all 3 games have been real close ball games. They're 2-1 now in the season. They've got great team speed. They've rebounded from last year, or they've propelled themselves from last year with the attitude that, what you said, Dave, Roy Shivers, Danny Barrett have brought to Saskatchewan. This football team's heading in the right direction. Richie Hall's got a bend but don't break defense. We saw that. They were kind of getting taken to him in the third quarter, Chris, but Richie hunkered down. I know you don't like that word. But they got it done. Offensively, they went to the basics. They controlled the line of scrimmage. They got it going in the right direction.
Well, I agree with everything you say, but for the BC Lions, you got to keep that locker room together. Resist the temptation to start talking about other positions on the football team. If you're a defensive lineman, don't necessarily criticize Damon Allen. Why? Because you've never played quarterback. And if you're Damon Allen, don't necessarily criticize the defensive backs because you're not a defensive back. The hardest thing to do is work through adversity in football. It'll be a test for the BC Lions. They've responded in the past. But 2 losses in football in an 18-game schedule, that's a lot. That is a losing streak. They've got to keep that locker room together.
They got to stay together, but they're going to hate hearing this stat. The BC Lions have scored their offense has scored just 2 touchdowns so far this season in 12 quarters of regulation time football. Danny Barrett, they didn't get their second win of the season last year until week 9. Now they're tied for first in the West. So week 3 is in the books. We just talked about the games tonight. Here are the games from last night. Your winners are Hamilton, Montreal, and the Edmonton Eskimos, as the Calgary Stampeders are 0-3. They will face the BC Lions next Friday. What you see in week 3, E.T.?
The Ticats win a game they needed to win. They went on the road. It wasn't fancy, but what they are, they're 2-1. They're now they now play Winnipeg next week with a chance to fight for that second spot in the East. They did what they had to do. They won.
And then I'll take the Edmonton-Calgary game. Calgary's in tough going up the road to Commonwealth. And what does Tom Higgins' defense do? They dominate the line of scrimmage. Peterson had a big night, and they got after Crandell. Yeah, they gave up over 100 yards to him on the ground, but what they did was they dominated that line of scrimmage, gave their offense better field position, and Moss and Nealon Green capitalized.
Yeah, and I'll take the Winnipeg-Montreal game. I thought Winnipeg really did a good job of fighting back. That game became close towards the fourth quarter. Give credit to the Montreal Alouettes and Rod Rust because all the talk came from Winnipeg, and Rod's team just was very quiet, very methodical, came in there and really won the game in the first quarter. because they executed so well. Montreal is playing some great football right now, guys.
But you're right. You know, credit to the Bombers. They were down 23-0,
Yeah.
I think, in front of that big crowd. We talked
fought
about
back.
it. Yeah, they fought back. That
Showed
pressure
character.
can cut both ways, you know, when you have the big crowd at home. Speaking of selling lots of tickets, which they did in Winnipeg on Friday night, if you want to get some tickets, go check out a ball game. Here are the numbers to call in the West and the East. We've got more right after this. So with week 3 in the books, we now look ahead to week 4. We can't get enough, basically. And here's what we're looking at in week 4. Edmonton in Montreal, the Blue Bombers trying to bounce back in Hamilton, BC trying to get something going against another struggling team in Calgary. And speaking of trying to get something going here, Toronto is going to be in Saskatchewan, Eric.
Well, I think an interesting game is going to be this Lions-Stamps game. Chris talked about how do you handle adversity. Both of these teams have struggled. Both of them need a win. It's going to be really key for them to stay together, both of those teams, and find a way to win, Matty.
I'm looking forward to the Bombers headed over to Ivor Wynn and going up against Don Southern's defense. They got a red-hot offense. All the weapons are clicking, and Don Southern's got that defense humming. I look for a great matchup there. I look for it to be a high-scoring affair.
Right.
And it's going to be up and down the field and very, very nasty and physical.
Saskatchewan and Toronto. I think Saskatchewan has a lot of momentum coming back home, and Toronto is not going to have any success until they cut down the penalties. They had 20 penalties. So let's say you run 60 plays on offense, 60 plays on defense, 20 plays. It's like once every 10 plays they had a penalty. Until they control the penalties, they're not going to progress.
Schultz, I know Edmonton's in a short week now, and they're going over to Montreal as well, and I know that's going to be a difficult situation for them because they've got to go over there on a short notice. They're kind of banged up. They've lost Terry Ray. They've Ryan Terry. They've missing Nealon Green and Ralph State.
All right. 12-7 was the final tonight. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night.